Welcome back, everybody. If it's your first time, yeah, there you go. The surprise or the Casey. Be safe out there. We'll start with that.
Casey
So
beat
welcome.
me today too. I'm surprised.
Well,
I got to get up early in the morning to beat Casey. I'll tell you.
yeah, we all
I
are
was
running
actually on
after.
time this time.
actually,
You
actually
are.
running after that train. So, welcome everybody. Welcome back to those that have joined us before. Those of you that are brand new to the show, you're in for a treat. Actually, everybody's in for a treat. I kind of pulled something that hopefully it goes off and the plane doesn't crash. So I'm gonna start setting expectations, but I'm gonna ask you some questions right out of the gate. So give me an opportunity to find this. Tell me when it comes up, and we'll
It's
try and get.
coming up
All right,
any second now. There it is.
cool. All right, so I'm going to take you through a storytelling before we get started, and have you ask yourself which scenario do you fit in. Scenario number one is the rat race. I know I was in that for a very long time. You're working just to pay the bills, right? The just over broke, which is the government came up with the acronym JOB, right? If you fall into that pile, I know I've been there. I can imagine that a lot of people have been there, having more month at the end of the money, and you feel like you just can't catch up. Or are you scenario two, where you're in the middle class trap, as you hear Casey talk about all the time, the control of the money, the entire system rigged against you, right? You're using your income, you're building your credit because everybody says you have to have great credit to be able to do anything, like buy liabilities. Your house, I mean, obviously you have to live somewhere, but buying a house is a liability if you have to continue to work to pay for that mortgage. That is not really an asset. Yes, it goes up over time, but it barely, if at all, keeps up with inflation. Or would you like to be in scenario number three, where you're financially free with cash flow that pays for everything? Cash flow that pays for all of your bills, all of your liabilities, like a house, vacation home, and all of the other expenses, and have money left over. Well, I can tell you, if you fit into the first two scenarios, you're going to see today why you have the opportunity almost effortlessly. It's not a get rich quick scheme, but it is a path to success that is proven factually that scenario three can be yours for anybody that chooses. Now, put a yes in the chat if you would like to be in scenario three. Or for some of you that are already here, that have already taken advantage of what we're telling the story about today, are already in that motion, that are already in that situation, going from either one or two into three to financial freedom. There is nothing better that puts your mind, body, and soul and family at ease to have more money at the end of the month than the other way around. So no one's seen that. So I appreciate the feedback. Oh gosh, that was terrible, or it was good, great. Put a comment in the chat. I greatly appreciate it. So this is sort of I like pictures better than words, but just look at the top. What are we going to show you today? Automation, cash flow, safety, and security. We want all of them. In this space, it's been hard to find because someone's always trying to cheat you, whether it's this space or any other space. We're going to show you safety and security today. We're going to show you the ability to invest money over time, not in a 401k for someday, to then have an emergency along the way and have to borrow against it, and then you get penalized, right? This is your money, your control. Everything is about serving you at the highest level and giving you the tools to be able to do that for you and your family without anybody else being involved. So, disclaimer, got to go through this, but just look at the red parts. You already know this is financial intelligence. We're not providing financial, investment, tax, legal, maybe some marital advice if Mr. Barsano is into sharing, but you're here solely for information, education, and sometimes humorous. So you don't have to read through these questions. Essentially, does it work? Yes, it's been working successfully for almost 26 years now. You're going to see something that doesn't exist anywhere else. That Mr. Barsano, through his 50 years of programming prowess, has always been told there's no way you can do that. There's no way that can exist. But you can see it does exist, and very few people know about it. Our only concern, I wake up and go to sleep every day. How do we get to more people faster for the opportunity to share this with you, not to sell you something, because we're not in the sales business. We're in the life-changing business. So with that, we're going to provide some of these links for you, but I'm going to get out of here. I am going to stop sharing and I'm going to turn it over to Attilla, and he can give you some background on how we got here because we wouldn't be here without the connection between Attilla and Mr. Barsano.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Edward. Good introduction. And I got that was a very good visual you put up there. And I have a little story that actually just happened to me this morning. I was on the way to the doctor's office to get a 3-inch needle into my left toe. That's called a PRP shot. They said, drink a lot of water and have a good meal. So I went to this new bagel shop that I like. And I met this police officer there, and we were talking. She was lovely, and she told me she just got her retirement, but she's going to work another 2, 3 years. She's been there 20 years. She probably started when she was 20. She's probably about 40-ish right now. And then she says, "Yeah, I'm going to take." I said, "Have you saved some money?" She said, "Yeah, I'm going to take that money and put it into another like 401k type of plan." I'm like, you want to wait another 20 years for that to amount to anything? She said, no. I said, we got to talk. So guess what we're going to talk about?
No,
You know what I
well,
mean? I mean, the options, if people don't understand how their money can make money at 3 to 7% a month, bare minimum, then they're just not going to know. It's up to us to educate people. And that's why we do these on behalf of Crypto Casey's audience. By the way, for those of you that are new and you're wondering, like, who are financial intelligence? Who is Edward? Who is Attilla? We have teamed up with Crypto Casey, and we are her education and let's say educational and informational support arm as it pertains to GoBabyTrade. Okay. So we do these every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern on your behalf. So be here and tell your friends to be here as well. So anyway, how did I meet Mr. Barsano? That's my part of the story. So it's pretty cool. What happened was, first of all, Mr. Barsano has an interesting history. After 8 years in the Navy, he came out, worked a couple of years for the government in nuclear engineering, and then got hired by Bill Gates at Microsoft, one of the first 350 programmers to be hired there. And don't forget to take your notes, Ed, on what I say, okay? Because I want to make sure you catch every nook and cranny.
just the
So
I've
stuff he says
started.
anyway,
wrong.
Don't worry, I have started.
so anyway, Mr. Barsano, he doesn't like it when I say this, and I haven't said it in a while, but he was kind of a rock star there. He not only he didn't work on projects that they said, here, this is what we have, make this better. They said, hey, this is what we need, make it happen. And he did. And he retired after about 8 years there. He was a young man, less than 40 years of age, was bored to death, played in bought a lot of tech stocks that were going like this at the time, and got crushed in 2000, the 2000 stock market crash. And that's when he made a very important decision. Fortunately for all of us, he got crushed financially because that's when he decided to level the playing field and develop a robotic autonomous stock trader that allowed people, the average person, to make profits without gambling. And it worked. I mean, he launched it in 2001 after developing it over a year or two. Ed, how long did that actually take you to put together? The first version of the trader, was it like 1 year, 2 years? I never really found that out from you. Ballpark. A
Probably
usable
about
trader.
one. Well, yeah, 1 year.
1 year. Wow. Okay. So you started about 2000, and then 2001 you launched it. And then I met Ed through a mutual introduction. A friend said, "Hey, Attila, how'd you like to make money in the stock market and not do anything?" And I said, "I don't think that's possible, but I heard a long time ago, your mind's like a parachute. It only works when it's open. Tell me more." He said, "You got to
So,
meet this guy. You got to meet the." Go ahead, Ed.
well, no, I'll just put it in my notes.
Okay. Oh, here we go. They're piling up. So anyway, he introduced me to Ed. We did like the 2012 version of a Zoom webinar, whatever that was. I don't even remember what platform we used. But after 20 minutes, I said, "You know what? I'm sold. I want to buy this license." I did, and I used it, and it was amazing. It literally turned itself on in the morning at whatever time the stock market opens, 9:30, I believe. And it stayed on for about 6.5 hours and then turned itself off at about 4 p.m. And it did everything 100% unattended for you. It made money. It bought more when it went down. It was amazing. It was amazing back then. It's still amazing today when you think about it. So it was just a lot more amazing back then because we didn't have anything like crypto. We didn't have blockchain. We didn't have AI. We didn't have a lot of the advances we have today. But anyway, there was AI. Mr. Barsano knew about it in 1989. That's when he went to train for it, as per Microsoft sent him to do that, same class as McDonald's Corporation. But anyway, long story short, what happened was he teamed up with a marketing company back then. And after 2 years, it didn't work out to his expectations. So we went back to doing things solo. And in 2018-ish, sold out to a hedge fund that had bought a lot of licenses from him previously. Now, this is where the story takes a little turn. About 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, I'm sitting at my desk and I had a frustrating day at the office. I have a nice crypto portfolio. By the way, my background is all financial. I've been a financial planner. I've raised money for various financial uh, enterprises, mining projects, hedge funds, etc. But I got
Sure.
into crypto, blockchain, and decentralized finance back in September of 2020, full time since then. And not as long as Casey, but I got my feet wet in 2017 with the Bitcoin mining project. And here I am 2 years ago sitting there going, man, I love my portfolio that I have. I'm fine with that. I like what I've done here. I like what I've done there, but I got to figure out a way to safely and securely make more crypto on my crypto, multiply my crypto, in other words. Took me about a full day, but finally Ed Barsano's name popped in my head, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sure somewhere in the last 3 to 5 years, Ed Barsano has developed a trader not only for the stock market, but for crypto. It's just logical. I just knew it. So I tracked him down. I had his phone number in my iPhone. I called him. We spoke for 3 hours. He confirmed my hunch and he said, Attila, this is light years ahead of the stock trader. And I said, how come? And he gave me four pretty compelling reasons. Number one, stock market trades 6.5 hours a day, 5 days a week. Crypto's 24/7. Big advantage just in that. And I agreed. Number two, he said, Attila, you know that you need a lot of volatility, a lot to make money in any kind of trading. And crypto has almost as much volatility as the futures market. Not quite, but it's up there at the top one, two, three. And then he also said number three and four really is what got my attention. He said it's not downloadable software anymore. It's web-based. And I didn't know what that meant. So I asked him and he said, look, if you buy the license again right now, I'll have you connected to your Coinbase in less than 10 minutes. I said, let's go, let's do it. I bought the license on the spot. And in 8.5 minutes, he connected me to my Coinbase account. I was trading live. Now that alone blew me away because I remember back in 2012, it was about a 60 to 90 minute setup and download.
Probably because
Tedious.
you're on a dial-up modem.
Yeah, I mean, it
That's all
was
they had.
I use the word cumbersome, you know. But number four was the most important thing to my ears, and it should be the most important thing to your ears. And that is the fourth thing he said. I created an API connection to your Coinbase or your Kraken account so you and only you control your funds. Now, why was this so important to me? Because in the previous 3.5 years to this point in time, which was March of 2024, I had lost a lot of money in 5 different cash flow blockchain crypto projects. I mean, a lot. And the reason I lost those monies is I sent my crypto to a third-party wallet or exchange. So when things went south, I couldn't get to my money. Here, we control our money 100%. This should be the most important. Not only the, I mean, there's so many components to this that make sense, but this is a biggie. So before I introduce Ed, I'd like all of you to keep in mind 2 things. When we say set it and forget it today, we're going to repeat that over and over. It truly is. Once you buy the software, the license, and you go live, there's no need for you to do anything, literally. I mean, you're going to look at your trader, probably you're going to check in every day, once or twice, just to see what it's done for you, but you don't have to partake or do a darn thing. Okay? Right, Casey?
Right.
Okay.
We-
Number 2, please appreciate what this man has brought forth to the world. It's pretty remarkable. No one has done this without anybody being an accredited investor, without anyone knowing anything really about trading, without anyone knowing anything about crypto or blockchain. You could now automate a portion or as much of a part of your financial life as you wish and make money in your sleep with this platform. It's truly remarkable what he's created. So, Ed, I've said enough. I'm going to turn this over to you.
Yeah.
And please go ahead, Edward.
Actually, what I'm going to do, it's so valuable for to have Ed's time and for Crypto Casey that I want to ask Casey. Casey, would you say us to a few words of how you lost a bet and somehow got involved with us?
Lost a bet.
Yeah, no, I'm just just a twist on the setup. What's the background? How did you?
Oh, sure. So,
Oh.
a friend of mine was at a networking event that had, I think it was a networking event, something that had nothing to do with cryptocurrency or blockchain technology. And he met Edward, and Edward mentioned that he was in blockchain. And so my friend and I, we have a different venture that has nothing to do with crypto and only had one rule, like don't tell. I wanted to be a silent partner in this. So just don't talk about my YouTube channel, Crypto Casey, whatever. And he immediately violates the one rule, like within the first couple months of this business venture, mind you, and tells Edward, like, oh, you should talk to my friend Casey. She's in blockchain as well. So then, long story short, I meet Edward and Attilla. They show me this interesting product we're going to look at today. And I immediately was like, scam. But you know what? Part of what I do for YouTube is I like to test out different product services myself. And then if it will bring value to people and otherwise that you otherwise wouldn't see, like on a billboard or on advertisements on TV, that's why I like to make videos about. So I bought it unbeknownst to them for $4,500, tested out for a couple months, and they kind of circle back like, hey, you want to talk about this stuff again? I'm like, actually, I bought it and I've been using it for a few months now, and it's interesting. I'd like to, learn more, dive in, see if this is something that'd be good for people. And at that point, I got to meet Ed. And 8 months after testing it, I made the first video a couple of years ago about it, and people have been having a great experience with it, and I'm glad that all of this happened.
Yeah, all by accident for someone not following the rules that you laid out. And
sometimes you got to break the rules.
And he didn't know he was breaking the rules for the benefit of everybody that gets to hear this story going forward. So it's serendipitous meeting. The only thing I want to add is when Matt goes, you ought to talk to my friend Casey. I'm like, she have a YouTube channel. Crypto Casey. I'm like, nah. Not Crypto Casey, not the Crypto Casey. He goes, oh yeah. So look.
Here we are.
The other thing I just want to clarify for everybody's edification is Casey, unbeknownst to us, she bought the trader, but she paid $1,000 more than she should have paid. If she would have let us know she wants to buy the trader, we could have saved her $1,000, but she didn't want us to even know. She just wanted to do an unbiased test of her
Yeah.
own because on behalf of her audience.
Yep.
Because there's
Brilliant.
no way she's going to introduce anything to her audience without first testing it.
Yeah.
So
Brilliant.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. To that point, anybody that's interested in buying today can buy it for $1,000 less than Crypto Casey did.
Right, right,
Yes.
So, so with that, yeah, thanks, Casey. I love that story. We've gotten to know you, excuse me, on a professional and personal level, and I really do believe at the bottom line is that you've allowed us access to your audience, obviously after vetting us. I would hope you wouldn't think you would use the four-letter scam word. We're genuine. Mr. Barsano has been doing this for his audience for far longer than we excuse me, we have been involved in this, but the opportunity to be able to provide this much value, it is to your audience is such a privilege. I am so happy every day that you are involved in this project, and I'm happy that what has created has held up and simply just works. So, with that, Mr.
Well,
Barsano, how are you?
take it away.
I am fantastic. Always good. Always having a ball. Um, yeah, I really appreciate you, Crypto Casey, letting me speak to your audience all the time. That is cool. Because I'm not a marketer, I just don't know, I'm a programmer. So, and that was the thing when I hired that marketing company back in 2012. They were just doing all kinds of weird stuff. I had to unplug them. I'm like, oh, is that what marketing is? All that, I didn't like the way they were doing things. So I just moved. I said, I'm gonna just go back to being solo. I trust my company, the franchise, I guess, of GoBabyTrade. I don't want to be, look like a scam out there. I liked it better when people were sharing the software who already own the software instead of someone being out there trying to promote something that they don't even use, so I didn't like that. Um, anyways, those three pictures that brought back memories, I took a glance at the third picture, the one on the right where the guy's just laying there, sipping on a martini, or I don't know what that was, maybe lemonade or iced tea, I don't know. He looked bored. And it just reminded me after I retired when I was 39. That's exactly how I felt. And then I looked over at the other two pictures on the left and I'm like, man, they're having fun. They're out there doing stuff. They're struggling. You know what I mean? And, there's a lot to be said for struggling, I'll tell you. You know,
There's also a lot to be said to work your way out of the struggle.
yeah, that's true. But, even if you do make millions, you're gonna get bored. You're gonna get bored, and I tell that to people. Like one of my clients, he quit his job, or he told me he was gonna quit his job because his auto trader's making more money than he makes on his job. And I said, yeah, but be careful. If you quit your job, you better think about what you're gonna do when you after you quit. You can't just lay around, even though you're getting all this free money, from the auto trader, coming in every month. What do you can't just like lay around all day. People die when they retire, and I used to think it was because they were old, and I was wrong. It was because they were bored. Doesn't matter how old you are when you retire, you're gonna get bored. So anyways, you got to think about that. So I really missed the struggle, to be honest. And those are all the memories that we have, all the fun times when I think back. I've been married 44 years, and I just think back of all the old days and, during the struggle. All the stories that we talk about. Oh, he was in the Navy for 8 years. He was in nuclear engineering. Then he went to Microsoft. Hey, there was no cakewalk. Those all sound so glamorous, don't they? That was a war zone, man, for years. I mean, nothing came easy, I'll tell you, You didn't just move from one of those to the next, like it was just, oh, here we go, oh, another promotion. No. You know, it was a lot of hard work. Um, anyways, but those are the good times, the memories that we have of all the wins, the victories. Um, The other thing about, when Attila, you mentioned the 2001, how long, when you said how long did it take to release the first version? Well, I don't look at the first version. Man, I remember that first version. It was way, way beyond, below where we're at right now. And it took nine servers to make that first version even work for one person. All
Wow.
the, if you saw the architecture, I had literally nine servers lined up, um, just to make one trade. So it really came a long way, and I think of the 25 years, and you think why, if, really the big question is why did it take 25 years to get where we're at right now? And I'll tell you why. Because you learn as you go. There's no timeline on this. There's no deadline where, you might have a deadline where Microsoft had deadlines all the time and you couldn't even miss them by a day. Otherwise, heads flew. Not even by one day. It's like, can you give me one extra day to do this other thing? No, you're dead if you didn't make that deadline. But so there are no deadlines in developing a fully robotic trader. It's just you're always improving it. And then you look back and you go, wow, those iterations, but I could write a book from the first iteration of the auto trader to today, where it's at. But how did I get there? It wasn't just me, it was thousands of users helping me. The constant feedback, and not necessarily telling me what works, but most of it was really telling me what doesn't work. And once you understand what doesn't work, then you realize then what works just kind of falls right out of it. It just starts appearing. The picture starts getting clearer as you start removing all the things that don't work, the layers of things that don't work. Um, and so there is no timeline on it. And will it keep improving? Yes, it'll even get better than where it's at today. It will keep getting better. And I have a long list of things I want to do that I could try to make it better. One of the first things, though, let me tell you what won't make it better, is trying to time the market, or trying to set timelines on things, or trying to predict. That's a killer there, and that's a hard one for a lot of people to swallow. Many of you will you're in a mindset that you can actually predict what a coin or a stock, either one, is going to do tomorrow. And you're going to be looking at so many technical indicators, and you're going to be looking at the spreads, the ranges between the high and the low and the midpoints. And I'm like, and you're going to be saying go in at the bottom of this, or go in up here, or go in when this happens. Forget about what all that. That's the problem. That's where everybody's going wrong. They're trying to forecast. You can't predict I mean, and Farmer's Almanac, they can forecast. It's amazing the history there. Farmer's Almanac can tell you what the weather will be on any day. They can tell you how many people will die over in a car accident over the Labor Day weekend. And I was amazed. A few years ago, I looked at the number. They said 500 people were going to die, and like 505 people died. I was like, it blows me away. But I've been reading these Farmer's Almanacs since I was in seventh grade. Um, it's amazing. But the stock market is different. The crypto market is different. You can't predict, even with AI, you can't predict what something will do a day in advance. So that means once you accept that reality, and that's the first reality that you have to accept. And once you know that, then you have to say, well, then that means when I buy a coin, at the instant I buy something, I could end up holding this thing for months at this point, because it may not go up tomorrow. It may not go up for 5 months from that point where you just bought it. However, say it goes down, it's still going to wiggle. So I don't know which one of these buys as it's going lower is going to bounce, but I'm going to keep buying at the right times. And that means I've always trapping the market at lower prices. so it's going to wiggle like this. At some point, you're gonna catch up, and then it's just going to keep taking money forever, and that's what'll add up. Now, there's people get impatient though. This market, the crypto market, has dropped more than any crash in history, in any stock market crash, more than the 1929 crash when people were jumping out of windows. This has been the biggest market crash in the history of trading. A 94% drop in coins over the last 5 years. And it's got everybody out of the market. And some of you probably maybe hopefully you're all still in, but most people are buy and holders, and that means they went in up here and the price is all the way down here now. And they bought in all up here, so they were all in, and that means they missed all the wiggles. It's kind of like silver right now if you think about it. Silver was in 33 years or 40 years, it hasn't moved. It never went like above $33 a share, and it was going all the way down to 10.50. And then it just stayed in that range, like 29 to 16, and and it was just going up and down, up and down. And we were fine with that. I was happy with that. And then all of a sudden last year it ran to 100, over 100. Now, if you're sitting on silver dollars in your drawer, you didn't make any money. So it went all the way to 100. Well, that's nice. It made you feel good. You say, wow, I'm making all this money. And then it goes all the way back down to 60, and you still didn't make 10 cents. You didn't sell anything. So you missed, and you're missing thousands of trades every day that you don't have an auto trader, trading silver. I don't believe in sitting on silver dollars when I could be trading SLV in the stock market and just trading away. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, and letting my auto traders do it. So it's all about turning inventory, really. So on that note, I just want to make a quick, as far as the versions of the software goes, it will always keep getting better. But I just want to tell everybody, first off, if you have a Coinbase account, turn on your allow list security feature. Everybody should write that down right now. Allow list, Coinbase security. You need to turn that on. Coinbase doesn't want to turn it on. I don't know why they don't turn it on by default for everybody. It prevents people from stealing your coins. Okay, that's note number one. And the next note is a real important one. Make sure somebody else can log into your account, your Coinbase account, your wife or your husband, one of your kids maybe. Because if anything happens to you, those coins are going to just be lost. Nobody's going to know how to get into your Coinbase account. I can't even imagine how many billions of dollars are being lost in cryptos. I had a woman, unfortunately, her husband passed away not too long ago, and she called me and said, I can't log into my husband's Coinbase account. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. Call Coinbase. I feel bad about that. But he should have showed her how. So your loved one needs to be able to go to her computer and log in to your account with no problem. And I know that's a real issue because sometimes some people take an hour to log into their Coinbase account, and it's their account. It's your account, and you're having trouble logging in your own account. If you can't log in, nobody else is going to be able to log in. So it's just a heads up. I really recommend that you do those two things. Okay, that'll help you in the long run. And that's all the notes I have, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep.
For everybody's benefit, the and you'll see it later. We'll show you where the videos are, but I just posted the video link for Ed when he created the how do you turn on the allow list if you have the Coinbase account. So save you a couple of steps. It's super easy. You've got the YouTube video in the chat.
And you can always send us email too. You're going to give them the links later on, right, Edward?
Yeah, well, actually, it's probably a good idea if we give it to him now as you're talking about it. Attilla mentioned that he and I are the support arm. We're sort of the go between Crypto Casey and her audience, and excuse me, front end support for some of the easier non-technical questions for GoBabyTrade with Ed and his team. But I'm posting now support at GoBabyTrade. That's for technical-ish. More non-technical is support at rctmarketingsystems.com. You can also, whether you have the trader now or you're considering purchasing the trader, you become part of this family that we're here to support you in any way, shape, or form, right? If you said, "Hey, listen, I'm interested in buying the trader, but I don't want to do it alone," can you set up a Zoom with me? We'll buy the trader. We'll get you set up. Takes 10, 15 minutes at the most. Get you on the success path. That's an easy request. So any questions that you have, please send them to either one of those two support emails.
Yeah, we help people, literally create their Coinbase account, get it funded, and then connect it and go live and do all that in one session, just helping you. Even if
Yep.
you don't have a GoBabyTrade account, you still need to turn that allow list feature on
Mhm.
in Coinbase. Plus, Kraken has some security called GSL, I think, General Security GS,
General security layer. Yeah, actually, we'll do some
something like
research.
that.
We'll do some
Yeah,
research and we'll send it out to our
they
folks
need to
as well.
turn that on also. You need to turn it. You need it because, see, without these features, if somebody got into your account, and I know a lot of you are thinking, there's no way anybody's getting in my account. Don't think that way. Because if it ever happens, I'm not saying it will, but if it ever happens, you won't even know you're hacked until all your coins are gone. I know somebody that lost 6 Bitcoin at 60,000 bucks a piece. They disappeared like that the minute somebody got in that account. So these features, these security features, prevent any transferring out of your account. It's a beautiful thing to have. I sleep easy knowing that nobody can transfer anything out of my account, even
Hey
if they
Ed,
got in. Okay,
Ed,
should
can
we
you
move on?
a lot of people once they see the bucket in the well, if they understand that, then they get the theory behind what you created. Can you share the bucket in the
That's
well?
the most important thing, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things we do that you won't find in maybe other trading systems or bots, whatever they call them these days. Is they're not going to really tell you intimately how their system works. It's just because number one, you have to know how to make money in the market before you can create an auto trader. Otherwise, you're just going to have an automated trader automatically losing. And most people don't know how to make money consistently in the market, how to grind money out of the market. So it's hard for them to tell you what their auto trader is doing when they don't even know how to make money in the market themselves. And they're probably faking it. They're probably not even they may not even be trading in the market themselves. We had a phrase at Microsoft called eat your own dog food. That was a Steve Ballmer quote. Um, and believe me, a lot of those early versions of Windows were dog food. Bill asked me on the first day we hired that I hired on. I went to shake his hand when they introduced me. We were both 30 years old, and he said, "Why are you doing this on a Deck Max and not on a PC?" And I was thinking PCs are junk back then, but I didn't say that. I knew I had to get off that Deck Max. Um, so within 6 months, I was in a PC development group. And 6 months later than that, I was the head of that group. Moving. Did I get a share?
You do.
No,
Okay,
it's
thank you. All right. So the most important thing here. Oh, this is my. Where am I at now? Let me.
Is that your secret code of how the no, that's the link to get to here.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get this out of my way. This
yeah, just
high
left click on it and
floating
move
bar.
it up or down.
Okay. Close that. Close that.
Yeah, Jeff, I think it's his first time joining us. He said he missed the first 20 minutes. We've not covered any of the cost structure, but we're going to be issuing a discount link for a crypto Casey, and then we'll be explaining how the system works as well. So,
Actually, we did cover the cost when we explained Crypto Casey paid $1,000 more than she should have.
oh yeah, well, but we didn't we didn't say what the real price is. So
Then you're wrong.
Yeah.
She paid $34.99 more than she should have paid. I would have gave it to her for free.
Yeah, I didn't want any special treatment though. I wanted to see the organic way that people would experience it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Right. Okay. That's cool. But this is a typical market. You see these, this is how cryptos move. You see the straight lines up and down? Stocks move like this. Stocks are boring. They just move like a wave, the prices. Cryptos jump around. And so I always say this is cryptos are gold for auto traders, man, because if you anything you bought down here, it'll just jump up like that. The price goes boom, 50% higher or even 200% higher. The price just jumps up there, and then the auto trader sells everything it owns below that at a profit. And then when it's going down, it's buying more. I could see a dip here where it might have bought more right there. It might have bought more right there. It might have bought more right there. And then it sells it all off right there. And then it goes higher and makes sure it sells it all. It's, sometimes people tell me, the coin's going, my coins, the prices are going too low. Should I stop buying? Should I tell the auto trader to stop buying more? And I'm like, no. The biggest money you're going to make is the stuff you bought at the bottom. All this inventory here that you might have thought you were buying under that line, you just sold it all off when it jumped up there. So it's just a constant, give me money. Give me all this free money. I call it free money. Now, I can't say that on the internet. Facebook actually blocks my post. I mean, can you imagine if you write a post on the internet? You can say anything you want dirty about Trump and they'll post it. But boy, if you say the word free money, boy, I actually get a message from Facebook and says, we can't promote that. Why? If it's not free money, what is it? I mean, to me, it's just, the auto trader automatically bought it down here and it automatically sold it there. I call that's free money to me. But I can't put that phrase, free money. They've actually, and then I say, review my account again after, and then they say, okay, it's fixed. Now we'll promote it. I'm like, you guys suck, man. Just because because the little man on the other end can't grasp that the market really is nothing but free money, and people think the market's gambling, and that's what's everybody's afraid of the market. And
Oh,
I
well,
tell
I listen, Ed, from my world, that they know what you're saying is true, but they don't want other people to know it. Remember, I
Facebook.
said at the beginning, a scam rigged
Oh
system
yeah,
against most people that fit into scenario number one or number two. They know it's real. We all know it's real,
yeah.
but they don't want you to tell anybody else about it.
Well, yeah. I post some quotes that I put out there. That the banks or investment advisors tell you to hold on to just what kind of post do I put out there? Something like they tell you to just hold on, or they tell you to sell, use a stop loss and sell when a coin goes down, or they tell you to hold on while they're busy buying and selling, taking all this money, taking billions of dollars a day out of the market. I know they're taking billions because all of us GoBabyTrade clients combined, we take millions a day out of the market every day. When you add up all of our clients, we are taking a fortune out of that market. It's crazy. And that's just adding up. And especially when we have big up days, when a coin jumps like L3, limit 3 jumped, or layer 3 jumped 250% the other day
One day.
in one day. That was on here. Let's see, where was that? Something like maybe right there.
Yep.
Yeah, April 4th, 250% jump. And
Wow.
everybody that owned that coin, man, we cleaned up, man. Talk about free money. What a joke. What an insult to humanity. It's so simple. And then even though the next few days it tried to go down, but then every time it went down, we bought more and then it wiggled up and we sold all that off profitably. It's just free money. Keep pumping money for life and nobody can stop you. Really, nobody can stop you. And so here's how the trader works. And just I always like to start with the obvious first. It's a bucket, goes down to get water, It has to go all the way to the bottom, and it has to go all the way up and dump out the water, right? It can't go halfway down and then go back up. It'll come back with an empty bucket. So it has to go all the way to the bottom and all the way up. Nobody disputes that. Nobody in the world disputes what I just said. Bucket goes all the way down, gets the water, goes all the way up, dumps it out. That's all it can do. It can't stop halfway. It can't go down a little and go back up. It'll be an empty bucket. So nobody disputes the amount of water it will pump. Billions of gallons in your lifetime. No question about that. Crypto market, it only has to go down a little and you buy, and go up a little and you sell, and you just keep taking money. And forever. Again, insult to humanity. Simplest game in town. Simplest game in town. I mean, without all the other features built into the software, the AI and everything, just this alone, if you understand this, you realize it's a money machine for life. And then when you get those pops up like that, where it goes up, and then you just sell off all that inventory it bought, that it was when it was going down, that you accumulated, that you didn't sell while it was wiggling, and then it pops up. Same thing as the stuff you saw on here. You were accumulating here and not selling, and then it popped and you sold it all. Same thing. It happens. It's the same thing in crypto, in the bucket and the well. This is all it's doing, you know. And then you have all this other stuff that GoBabyTrade that I've added over the years. The AI that says, hold on, don't take that profit yet when it's going up, because the AI says it's going to go higher. Because now the AI can't predict what it's going to do tomorrow, but it can predict what it's going to do in the next half hour. And that's because everything, just like if you're sitting behind, you see some of these traders that are sitting behind 6 monitors, they're looking for everything, they're looking for obvious, you know, indicators all pointing up. And then so they can say, all right, based on that, it's probably gonna jump. Or if 99% of all the other coins are going up at this instant in time, then chances are it's gonna go up too. You know, that's just another indicator in there with all the technical indicators. All the technical indicators are in the AI. I don't look at them individually. I don't look at graphs. I let the AI handle it. It's beautiful. AI is pattern recognition, and it's been around since 1955. And I started using it in '89, and it was always in my auto traders all the way since 2001. And I never bragged about it. I never said, "Oh, look at me, I have an AI trader." To me, it was just a nice add-on. The auto trader itself could work without the AI. The auto trader, it already knows what its profit goal is, and it would take the profit. And if a coin jumps up here all of a sudden, it's going to take all that profit, even without the AI. But, you know, the AI is a nice bell and a whistle, I call it. If you look down in my trader here for a second in the filled orders, I'll show you when you can identify when AI took place. Like right here. This one here says added to declining position. It says, the software says I'm going to add to the position. It called the AI and it asked the AI, do you think the price is going to go lower before I jump in right now? And in this case, the AI did not say it was going to go lower. But the next one, the one right below it says, it called the AI and the AI said, hold on, it is going to go lower. And look at this, I did a few manual trades back then. I always say I never take manual trades. You can't count them on one hand how many times I've done it, but it was just so obvious. Some of these coins were just so obvious that they were going to pop. Like here, I manually bought ACH. No, did I manually close it? Oh, I was just taking free money. Nowadays, I don't do that. Now I just let the auto trader take it. But I don't know why I just took that. You know, it was there, and I figured, just give me the money. Maybe I was gonna go to the store or something, and I felt like, why don't I just grab this $26 and just take it? But I don't do manual trading, hardly ever. I did some the other day, though, when ACH dropped too much, and I said, no way. I'm not gonna let this go away. So I bought about $10,000 worth. I added to it. But you know, that's what these buttons are for. If you want to do a little bit of manual trading. And I say a little bit because I don't, you know, Attilla will tell you straight out, don't change your strategy, don't do manual trading. Manual trading really hurts people because sometimes you'll close or you'll click add and you might like, what if I did this? What if I say, okay, I'm gonna buy $59,000 worth of ACH right now? Well, if I did that, if I go to my next screen and I look at ACH to see how much funds I have available, I've got funds remaining of 51,000. So say I didn't buy 59,000, but I bought 51,000. That meant I would have used up all the money ACH has. And then when the price goes lower, the software doesn't have any more money to buy more of that coin because I just used up all the money manually. So I really discourage people from doing manual trades because of that reason. So many people use up their money a lot faster than they should have, and because the software automatically is making sure you're protected to the bottom. Remember that bucket in the well? The software is dividing up your money so that even though a coin can drop 90%, you're still in the game down here buying and selling. And you were buying and selling the whole way it was on its way down. It's okay that it was going down. So for the last 5 years, these coins dropped over 90%. What does that, I mean, what does that tell you? All the whales were loading up during that time. BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, Merrill Lynch. I mean, you name them. All the big guys are just loading up like crazy. And while they're pushing the coins lower, scaring the little guy out. Because the little guy, and I call the little guy the amateur who doesn't realize what's happening, he doesn't know what's going on. All he sees is his account value going smaller. And he's thinking, I'm losing. And then, unfortunately, he has friends and family saying, get out. You're being made a fool of. You're going to lose everything. How many people got talked out of, maybe they were sitting on 100 Bitcoin at one time years ago when the price was so much lower, and then they sold it all, and they would have been billionaires right now. But they got talked out of it because of other people who didn't get it. And they didn't understand. So some people are just looking at their account value. I never look at my account value. It's irrelevant to me. Because if you think about it, if a coin drops real fast and I'm only taking 10% in a month profits, say I take 10% profits in a month. That's over 100% a year, by the way, if you keep doing that every month. But say I take 10% profits in a month, but the coin happened to have dropped 20% that month. My account value will still go down 10%, even though I took 10% in profits. But here's the difference of what happens. Your open inventory can only go up and down as the price of the coin goes up and down. But the profits that I keep taking add up forever. This number here just keeps going bigger and bigger and bigger. It never goes down. We never sell at a loss. So the inventory can go up and down, but the profits will keep going up forever. And in the long run, you can't lose as long as the company stays in business. As long as they stay in business, in the long run, you can't lose. And so I own crypto right now. I own 26 lots of that coin. If I click on the plus, I can actually see that. I can see all the the last lot it purchased. It purchased it on 4/7, April 7th. It bought ACH, $4,600 worth. And it shows that one lot right there is down 1.68%. It's not down enough to buy more to add to it. If it drops 3%, the software will actually add another one of these lots, another line above this one. And then this is the one you're going to sell first because it's going to go profitable first. So I've got the market trapped all the way at the bottom. I call it trapped. I won't let that market breathe without paying me because they can, fine, you got me trapped down there right now at this low price that I just bought it at. But it can't wiggle. And that's why if you look at these coins, down 0.08% today. Down 2% today, or up 2%. Not enough to take profits. Because if I look at the Doge, I'm still down 0.2% on that coin. So it hasn't gone up. It's got to go up, at least 3% from my last buy. GRT up 2.92%. Again, not enough to give me profit. And you notice none of these coins have moved. They're just simply not moving. And we've got the market just sitting there. And during that time, you don't want to be changing your strategy and everything because you're not going to make the market move. See, these are things that you really have to understand. Changing things, some people say, well, this coin's not moving enough. I'm going to jump into another coin. I'm like, no. Because you want to trap that coin. I own these coins from the top all the way to the bottom. That means each finger is one lot, one purchase. Boom, 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 boom. I got 26 of these fingers going. 26 lots from the top to the bottom. I've got them. And they can't wiggle. If the bottom one tries to go up 3%, or in my case, 5%, I have it set to a 5%, that one will sell off. If it goes up another 5%, this one will sell off. If it jumps 20%, a bunch of these will sell off all at once. If it jumps up here. So you're constantly buying and selling. You literally, it's like I have a tax on that coin. I'm the tax man. I refuse to let that coin go down 3% without buying more, or going up 5% without me selling it and taking profit, without the software selling it and taking profit. So for the rest of that coin's existence, they have to keep paying me forever. Forever, and literally in perpetuity. And all these coins. And these coins have been in play lately, like GRT. You notice I have 37 lots of that one, a lot more than some of than these other ones. Why? Because they've been driving GRT down harder than the other coins. Then you have to ask yourself, why are they doing that? When GRT, that's the graph. They've got 70,000 users using them. They do blockchain software. I'm a software developer. I don't want to do blockchain software development. Just like if I'm sitting in a doctor office and I look at those medical screens, I don't want to create medical screens. It's not my area of expertise. Let the experts do it, and I'll just call their functions and use them. So they've created the blockchain software. Us developers, we get to just call the stuff they already created. So I don't see them ever going out of business without the whole blockchain falling apart, because most people aren't doing blockchain development, not at that low level like they are. They get 2 billion hits a day with their APIs. No reason for them to be sitting at 2.5 cents a share. No reason. They should be at $25 a share, in my opinion. So I feel like the whales are loading up on that coin like crazy, man. And we own it from the top to the bottom. I don't care. You're never going to be able to push that coin up. When they try to push it up, they got to pay me. They got to pay all of us who own these coins. Alchemy Pay, like Apple Pay worldwide. They just partnered with Apple Pay a few months ago. After I was telling people for 5 years, I'm like, Alchemy Pay is like Apple Pay worldwide. And they were sitting at 12 cents. Now they're sitting at a half cent. Look at this. What a joke. That I call an insult to humanity. And even though that it's down like that, from 12 cents to a half cent, I've still taken $154,000 of profits. And my open inventory is still down 112,000, which is, I've actually taken more money than all the inventory that I'm sitting on that I bought while it was from 12 cents all the way down. I'm still ahead of the game because of the wiggles. And the wiggles never stop. They have trouble now. They're having trouble lowering these prices because they're already sitting at the bottom. And that's what people don't realize that's going on right now. Even BlackRock just announced they're having trouble paying out, letting people do withdrawals. Have they fixed that, Casey?
No,
No.
no, it's like, I think isn't there a timeline of a couple of years before? It's like, they're talking about the real estate one.
Mm-hmm. The
So they're
real estate
stopping
fund.
the
I think it's like,
withdrawals.
it's going to be a while.
Yep.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
So
That
they
goes
ran
back
out of
to That goes back to one of the biggest features. I mean, not only let's cover features in reverse order, talking about what we just talked about. The idea is that you own your Coinbase account, you own the trader, the two are connected one time, and it just literally makes money in your sleep 24/7. Whatever the market is going to give you, it will take in your sleep. Now, one of the most important things we talked about before, Attilla touched on it, I touched on it as well, safety and security. Your account, your Coinbase or Kraken account is secure. If you properly secure it, we'll help you with all of that. If you've got any questions, particularly if you're new to this new nascent space, we'll help you with all of that. But you have 100% control. You have, and a little bit later in the presentation, we'll talk about cash flow, what it really means, and the fact that you have access to whatever it makes without penalty, without somebody controlling or limiting your withdrawals, as we just talked about with BlackRock and one of their real estate funds. But Ed, you talked about it's programmed, the system's programmed to never, ever, ever sell at a loss. That concept is mind bending in itself. But literally, if you believe that the market is just prices going up and down, then why would you ever sell at a loss? You just gave the example of ACH. Your first buys and first positions were at 12.5 cents. That's 200%, I'm sorry, 2,000%, if not more, higher than what it's sitting at right now. But even given that, you're in a $150,000 profit because of the way that you program the system. As the market wiggles, doesn't have to go way up, doesn't have to go way down, but as it wiggles, it simply takes profit over
Keep
time.
taking money and it'll
Right.
add up.
And by the way, Attilla talked about, you don't have to be accredited. You don't even have to know how to spell crypto. This just
I
works.
misspell it all the time.
Well, I do too. I always put the R and the Y.
Me
I
too. Me too. My
goof that up.
fingers go too fast, yeah.
Yeah. So
But look what happens when a coin pops all of a sudden. Like ACH went from 2 cents, from a little over 2 cents, 2.1 cents. It ran to almost 6 cents in 5 days. And the auto trader just closed all this inventory, $2,000 on that one line, one lot, $2,200 of profit, $2,000, 1,700, 1,200. It's like, what a joke. I mean, I love cryptos, man. And we all own a lot of us own these coins. ACH, Doge, GRT, Sheep. They were the first ones that I bought 5 years ago, and I'm still trading them. And they just keep giving and giving and giving and giving. And we got them
you
trapped now, so it's going to be really good when they start heading back up again. But you can see how it works. We fill the shelves, you buy, and then you sell it off. Just like a 7-Eleven, just like a grocery store. They put product on the shelf, they sell it off, then they replenish the shelf. And that's what we constantly do. That's what the software just does. Never ending. At all hours of the day and night. Edward, were you
so
saying something else?
so we even to this point, we've talked about some concepts that if you're for the first time you're seeing it, it are just mind blowing. You're like, that can't be real. That can't be true. But it literally is. It's been true for the last 25 years. I mean, I know the first time I saw it, first time Attila came to me and said, "Oh, hey, I got this thing that just makes money all by itself." I'm like, what?
Scam.
What? Scam. Like, that's not pie. It can't exist. It can't exist. But think about it this way. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you to put an answer in the chat. Has anybody in anything that you've ever heard about or learned about or been taught about or paid good money to learn it in college about finances? Have you heard any of these concepts? Not only that, have you did you even understand that they were possible? And then the real question is, why were you never shown these concepts?
And
So
everybody's taught the
what's
wrong
crazy?
stuff.
good,
Oh,
good case.
yesterday I was talking to a couple of my friends that have masters in accounting and MBAs and stuff, and taxes are due today, unless you filed an extension. And they're
That's
like,
what I've been doing for the last 4 days, doing my taxes.
yeah, exactly. And what's
With
funny is they're
Excel,
like,
I got Excel opened, man, just trying
it's a
to
pain.
find those deductions.
Yep. And what's funny is all of them were like, they don't even teach us IRS code. They don't tell us why or what. It's just, this is what, it's like such a mystery. They don't teach people, the accountants, even like why there's taxes in the IRS either. And finance people, they don't teach us how to make money either. They just teach us how to sell prepackaged stuff and get a commission on it.
Right.
It's
True.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I ask you this often, Casey, how much of the market, the overall market, not cryptos, not stock, but the whole thing and all of the things that were not taught and purposely hidden from us, how much is manipulated?
All of it.
All of it. All of it.
Yeah.
I know it's a loaded
I
question, but literally
agree.
all of it. If you're, go back to go back to the picture of what I showed at the beginning. If you're in bucket 1 or 2, don't feel bad. It's not your fault. However, however, it is your fault if you don't take the time to understand some of the concepts that we're showing you and understanding that scenario 3, and I will show you how it's possible for the everyday person before we go into the Q&A. If you the challenge is, and I don't mean to, I'm not mad at anybody, but once you understand this, if you don't implement it in your life, then you have made a choice without making a choice. You've made a choice to stay in the trap financial slavery system that you were born into, your parents were born into, and their parents were born into. There is a better way. As I said, there's no smoke and mirrors. This is all factual stuff, and we're showing you real things and real numbers. And I'm gonna show you a real scenario because people are like, well, I don't have thousands of dollars to invest in this. I'm going to show you a scenario. Mark my words, and then we'll get back to the. I'm going to show you a 9-year scenario. But I mean, right now, raise your hand if you're putting money into a 401k for someday, and God knows if you have a problem in between and you borrow it, you're going to get penalized for everything you think you made. But I'm going to show you a scenario that in 9 years, starting with $500 in this trader, will yield you $11,000 in residual income per month without you doing anything. I don't know about you, but I think $11,000 a month makes a huge difference to me. And this is another aha that I didn't share with anybody, but I'm going to show you exactly how it happens. And in an ultra conservative fashion, as in less than 25% in this scenario, then these traders have been operating on an annual basis. So that 11,000, obviously no guarantees, but based on the factual history in the 4 years, a little bit over 4 years that this trader has existed, what it actually produces. So if you don't think there's a way out, we're going to show you a way out. Go ahead, Ed.
Oh yeah, everybody's got to have an auto trader, man. But seriously.
Well, when I
And it's
show
the
you
one
the
place you can
scenario, yeah,
park
when
your
I show you
money
the
and just
scenario,
watch
if
it
you go
grow.
on the other side of that and go, all right, it's not possible. Okay, we've at least shown you the way. We can't make you drink. I'm not going to call you a horse, but
Oh yeah. Well,
right,
I mean, but
but
everybody will ultimately get an auto trader, whether you get it now or you get it 6 months from now. And in 6 months, when you do sign up, you're gonna, as soon as you watch it run, you're gonna go, "Oh my God, I should have turned this on 6 months ago." Because every day that you don't have an auto trader, number one, you're not building inventory. And what does that mean by not building inventory? If you're running a 7-Eleven and you have one bag of potato chips on your shelf. This bag feels like it's full of air, by the way, for $2. Um, but if you only have one bag of potato chips on the shelf and a coin jumps 200%, yeah, you made 200% on that one bag of potato chips, but you only sold one bag. But what if you have a lot of bags on the shelf? And I have a lot more down there. And a school bus pulls in, you're going to sell a lot of bags of chips. So that means
that's
that
right.
coin jumps up big. So you can't own enough inventory. So the problem is you can't just start out with 26 lots or Doge 25 lots, GRT 37 lots. It took the auto trader time to build up that inventory. And I call that a well-seasoned auto trader. And every day that you don't have an auto trader, you're not letting the auto trader build that inventory. So whenever you do start, you're starting from the beginning, one lot. You know, only one lot you're gonna own of that coin. So you want to let it build inventory. This is a life trader. And you can't own enough inventory. Having a lot of inventory like this is beautiful. That's gold, man. I got that market trapped at the bottom, and not only do I have it trapped at the bottom, but when that bottom one sells, I got another one right above it that I got it trapped at now. It can never go above these prices for the existence of these coins forever without paying me constantly forever. So that's one thing that take into consideration. And then every day you have you don't have an auto trader, you're not taking all this free money that it's selling.
Hey,
Buy,
Ed.
sell, buy, sell. You can see what it did in it took $375,000 over here. On the left,
Wow.
total profits taken. It didn't take that all at once. It took it in pieces.
Right, Ed. Just for the sake of everybody who's new, if you remember nothing else from this today, remember what Ed Barsano just said about he's got the market trap. Out of everything that he said, since I've heard him say this over and over and over and over again since 2012, the one that hits home the most is he's got the market trapped. Understand that for yourselves. You've got the market trapped when you own this trader. Okay, so
BlackRock has been loading up for the last 5 years, the same as we have, from the top to the bottom, and they've been just loading up, buying more and more and more, and they keep lowering the price. They're the ones in control. I can't make these prices move. They are. Institutions are moving these prices where they want it to go. And they're all talking together. It's probably extremely illegal what they're doing. Because like the other day when all the coins were down 7% and a few were down 8%, all in one day, every single crypto coin was down 7% from top to bottom. All these numbers, today's move here, today's move, was down 7%, 7%, 7%, down 8, down 8. It was crazy, man. And that's clearly institutional behavior. They pushed all the coins down. And then what happens when they did 7%? Let's think about logically. Why 7? What was magical about 7%? Why didn't they push it down 2% or 3%? Like right now, they're all pretty fixed at 2. 2%, 2%. This one here is a little under 2%. Why did they do that? When they pushed them down 7%, all those millions of stop losses kicked in. For those of you who don't know what a stop loss is, I actually call it a lock-in loss. When I first created the Auto Trader in 2001, I put that indicator in there called lock-in loss. And somebody called me and said, what's a lock-in loss? I said, well, it's easy. If you bought it up here and it drops down and you want to lock in that loss, then you say I want to lock in the loss at a 3% drop, if it drops 3%. He said, isn't that called a stop loss? I said, what's a stop loss? Isn't that funny? I automated the stock market and I didn't know what a stop loss was because it's so illogical. I never thought an indicator like that would really exist. I actually invented lock-in loss because I couldn't find it in any of the indicators that that were available. And I didn't realize that that's what a stop loss is. A stop loss, he said it's a stop loss is if it's going, you stop it from losing if it goes further down. But how do you know it's going to go further down? So all you're really doing is locking in that loss because more than likely it's just going to go right back up. But now you don't own the coin. You sold it off down here. So anyways, that's what
Yeah.
a stop
Let,
loss.
let me make a quick announcement. Jeff, thanks for joining us today. And for anybody new, he says, speaking of speaking of slavery, when I talked about financial slavery, he says, I have to get back to my slave job soon. Hopefully be wrapping up soon. No, we're still going to go. We got a little bit further to go, and then we're going to go into Q&A.
I
But
still got
also
more water
thanks.
here, man.
Yeah, thanks to Scott for reminding us to mention that you're going to get a recording of this. It's also going to be available on um, our YouTube channel, probably both. And if I can ask you to do one thing or two things, and if you don't do anything else, go subscribe to Crypto Casey on YouTube if you don't already subscribe to her, and then subscribe to Financial Intelligence for You as well on YouTube, and you're going to get the replay of all this stuff. So, but big announcement.
Also, we're gonna be here on Saturday.
I was
This
just going to
Saturday
say
and
that.
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Go, because it
Oh
was
yeah,
your
so
idea.
this Saturday and next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
11 a.m. Eastern. I just posted the registration link, which is different from the registration link that you joined here. So with the idea, like Jeff, he's got to get back to his job. We figured that if we change up the time and see if that works, we may get higher attendance and reach more people, which is exactly what we're all about.
And
Cool.
there's the answer to the question that somebody had a few minutes ago about the price. The normal price for the 3-year license is $44.99, but because of a negotiated discount with Ed Barsano that Casey was able to establish, her audience members save $1,000. It's
Right.
$34.99 for the same 3 years.
And I just put that link in, the discount link that takes you right here. And there's all kinds of and we'll show you top traders, top counts, and then we'll go into Q&A.
So
Yeah.
the number one statement of the day is Ed Barsano's got the market trapped. The number two most amazing statement of the day is Jeff. Speaking of slavery, I've got to get back to my job.
Yeah.
That's a classic. That is a classic. Thank you for sharing that. That
Enjoy
is
your
like,
job, Jeff. You're gonna get bored after you quit.
Oh, no. I think he commented earlier, make me bored. I've got too many people to serve.
Oh.
I know
I played
I
retirement
butchered
for
that part.
5 years, man. It was not fun. That crash in 2000, man, I was reborn after that crash. What I wanted to show you was this level 2 screen. This is data. Like this is your people's orders. Like look at this order down here. Well, like this one here is showing $50. Look at this $6 one, you know. These things I've seen this. This is the people selling. Like this one says, I'm willing to sell my shares, but I want at least this much money for the share. But he's only willing to sell $6 worth of the coin. If I'm buying, say you're buying $1,000 worth of this coin right now. Think about it. The auto trader is going to add these up. It's going to say if I want to buy and I want to buy 50 and there's 122 more and 307. Oh, now it's 3,000. Okay, there. So this is what I would have paid for the coin, 338, not 337. Okay? And sometimes there are like fake orders all over the place. Like this one down here is $5.69 at the bottom is all that inventory at. That's what he wants to buy it at. But sometimes there'd be like 11 shares all the way up. 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11. And if you were actually going to buy, you're thinking the best bid price is down here. But in reality, based on the number of shares you're going to buy, you'd have to buy all those 11 share lots, and you'd end up paying a crazy number like way up here, you know, above what I'm showing on the screen here. So you're not going to get it at this lower price. You're going to end up getting it at a higher price. Because sometimes people say, you know, the price was already at my target price. How come I didn't sell it? Well, you're selling $10,000 worth, and nobody wants to buy $10,000 worth. You know, I have to add up all the people that are willing to buy before you can actually get filled on that order. You know, the software adds it all up. And if I'm adding $10,000, go down here. How many of these are there? That's only 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Look at all these orders here too. How about this for fake orders? All the same, all these are the same. They're literally they're doing it, and they're just setting the price lower and lower and lower. So if you're trying to sell, if you're trying to sell, you're not gonna get this price up here. You know, they just threw all these. Sometimes these are much smaller numbers even. These might all be all $5 orders here. You know, people willing to sell or buy, excuse me, and then you're trying to sell them, and you're going to end up getting a lot less than you thought you were going to get. So the software makes sure you don't get ripped off there. That's a scam I figure they were doing. I learned all the way back in 2001 when I realized that the professional traders they live and die by your orders that you put out there publicly. The software hides all the orders that we're doing, so we don't float orders in public view, so nobody can compete with you based on what you're doing. It goes
Hey,
right
Ed,
through our goals.
And
can you show can you show I'm sorry to interrupt you, Casey. Can you show some of the performance people that own the trader are making in the system? While you're bringing that up, Casey, you have two Bitcoins worth of knowledge, I know.
Oh, I was just gonna say this is probably a good time to explain your prop house experience, where whenever
Oh,
we
all
make
right.
trades, they know and they constantly wiggle between those and pretty much steal money from everybody.
Right. And they're doing that all day long right now. They're just ripping the public off royally because the people are taught to put orders out there in public view by all the trading classes. All the trading schools are all being taught by people who don't even trade in the market because they can't trade in the market if they're, because I know they're losing money like crazy with the stuff that they're teaching. But in 2001, I needed data, high speed, and I didn't have a high speed internet at my house in 2001. We didn't have gigabit connections back then near the house. So I went out to what they call prop houses, professional trading houses with a whole room bullpen just full of traders, professional traders. And they're all looking at this one screen, the level 2 screen. This is called, whoops, this level 2 screen. They're looking at your orders. These are your orders. The public throws orders out there. See, like that 603 order, or even any of these. They look at, like, this here is the best ask price right here. That means it's the lowest ask price. As you go higher, this person here says, I'm willing to sell, but I want this much money for it. I want to sell it at this price. So so I'm sitting in I needed high-speed internet, so I went to one of those houses so I could plug my laptop in and gather their data. But while I was there, I was trading some Microsoft. I figure I got to be trading, otherwise they're going to kick me out, right? So while I was trading, I bought some Microsoft. I bought 1,000 shares of Microsoft, and then I just said out loud to the whole room, I said, "How do I want to sell this Microsoft I just bought?" Somebody casually walked over to my shoulder, my right shoulder, and he said, that's easy. You see that guy's order right there? Sell it right under him. I couldn't believe it. So instead of it reaching your target price, he put his order in right below yours. So it's going to reach his target price before it reaches your target price. And not only was he doing it, they were all doing it. And then do you ever notice that you have a target price up here and the price starts to try to reach your target, but it won't quite go there, and then it finally goes down. Every time it goes there, it bounces off, and it tries to go there again, and it bounces off. And you think that's just coincidence. No, it isn't. If it's bouncing off your target price, your limit order that you put in public view, is because they're selling their shares right under you. And they're drying up all the buyers. And then it goes down, and you can see this all, just look at the charts. You can see what it's doing minute by minute. It's trying to go to that price, but it won't go to it because they're laughing about it. They're all throwing out, hey man, this guy's still, order is still there, go go go. And they're just hitting individual buttons. One button, F9, says buy 1,000 shares, buy. And F10 says sell, and they're just buying and selling under you, setting their prices right under. It's automatically set to set it right under that lowest price up there.
Hey, Ed, it's almost like you're saying the market's manipulated.
You want to call it manipulator or just taking advantage of blind people? People who don't
Well,
know what they're doing. They don't realize the scams that are out there. And this is why I was saying the software over the last 25 years keeps getting better because I discover more things that they're doing. And then I counter it in the software. The software adds up all the shares that it knows. If I know I'm going to sell so many shares and I have to look at how many people are, or if I want to buy so many shares, I have to look at how many people are willing to sell, and I got to add up all these numbers to say if how much of this do I have to buy in order to fill your order, and what's that price going to look like compared to where it is down here.
but that happens automatically in your software.
Yeah, the software is adding all that up. There's no other system out there that does this. I
Well,
do it.
yeah, I forgot to mention you talked about you referred to other systems and bots and things like that. This is the only system in the marketplace that does everything for you, including the trades. It doesn't give you indicators like a bot where you then have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, stumble over something to get to your computer to execute an order. This does it automatically.
This is
Automatically.
running 24/7. Look at this purchase right here, that last purchase of Shiba Inu at the top, 3 a.m. in the morning. That's about what time I was going to bed actually last night. But
Well,
here's 1:21 in the morning. It took that $364 at 1:21 a.m. I mean,
yeah.
that's beautiful. We're just stalking that market, man. And that market can't breathe. 2:56 a.m.
Yeah.
6:37
It's
a.m. I'm still sleeping at 6:30 in the
and
morning.
yeah, if you don't own the platform, then you don't have a real sense of what we're speaking of. But if you do own the platform, you're experiencing
3:39 in
it
the
just like
morning,
we are.
it took $453. Thanks for the free money. You know, all night, all day and night. I don't even look at my trader anymore. It's all boring to me. Um,
All right, show some research. Show
Because I
some.
already know it's just going to take whatever the market's going to give me. It's not me bossing the market around. Because I hear some people say, I wanna make $100 a day. It's like you can't dictate that. You have no right to tell the market what to do. You're gonna take whatever the market will take. I mean, you
Right.
can't sell $50 bags of potato chips in your 7-Eleven. You can't own a 7-Eleven and say, I want to sell $50 bags. Nobody's gonna buy a $50 bag of potato chips. You can only sell your stuff in a store for what the market will bear, what the people are willing to pay. And it's the same thing here. You can only make what the market's willing to give you. If they're not, see what's happening right now, I'll tell you what's happening. Look at Bitcoin's price. It's right around the same price down here that it was a year ago. It's literally just sitting here doing this. It's sitting in a range doing this. It's not breaking out. So if you're a buy and holder and you're waiting for it to go up here, but it won't go there, you can't make money if the coin won't move. You know, if it's not moving, it's not moving. Then I see people doing crazy stuff. They start changing their strategy and everything. And, well, this coin's not moving. Get out of it and move into another one. I'm like, no, none of them are moving. Take it easy, man. You got the market frozen. BlackRock's in control. They're waiting for the Clarity Act to pass. Watch when that Clarity Act passes. You know when it's going to pass? When all the senators own enough crypto. Because all they're doing now is
Yeah.
accumulating.
Getting
Hey,
They
Ed,
own
close.
And once they
we've
own
got,
enough crypto, they will vote for the bill. So don't worry. BlackRock is our indicator. I love those guys. They're like my partners. You know why? Because they move the prices. They're sitting on $100 billion worth of crypto. And that's not a made up number. 65 billion of that is Bitcoin alone. The other 35, 40 billion is in all these other coins. So they're sitting in all these coins and they started buying them way up at the top, all the way down. They're the same as us. So they've accumulated $100 billion worth of crypto and they know these prices are gonna go way higher, way higher. Once this
yeah.
crypto market changes from its long-term downtrend to a long-term uptrend. Watch when that happens. It's gonna happen. You know, I'm not
Hey, Ed,
Nostradamus, but it's
yeah.
obvious. Otherwise, they're out of
You,
business. BlackRock's out of business if they
hey, Ed,
don't, if this doesn't happen, and it will happen.
we've
You want
got
to talk about
quite a
how to
bit.
pick coins?
No, well, yeah. I
Show
mean, I was
show
just going to say
results.
we've got a
Oh,
lot
you
of
want to see
questions.
this?
We've got a lot
Attila,
of questions in the queue, so please
oh,
do go over this, and then maybe we could take a minute or two and go over the highest trade count, and then get to the questions. We got quite a few today.
okay.
All right.
Yeah, I know. I like to expound a lot on life.
Yeah, that's all
Um,
right.
well, this one here is the top 50 traders. This is a 1 year report. And and right off, I'm going to tell you, it eliminates big accounts because I used to fill this thing up with $1 million accounts, and then everybody got upset saying, "Well, I don't have $1 million. I can't use this system." So I said, okay, well, if it's over like a mil one or a mil two, eliminate it. Don't show it. And then if anybody does any manual trading, it'll knock off. They won't show up in this report.
So you don't show up on this report, right?
No, I don't think I do. No,
You manually traded.
because I manually traded. Um, but you can see what the starting account balance was 1 year ago, because this is what's important. These two numbers, nothing else. Don't look at the ending account value. I used to have it on there. I took it off because that's irrelevant, that number. Because it was really misleading, because a lot of people would, once you start with a certain amount, you might throw another 100,000 in to the account, and it makes it skewed, because that's what happens is you say this guy here has started with $1,000 and his ending balance might be 200,000. He didn't make that. He took a $1,937 of profit, which is really almost a 200% return. Warren Buffett would love me if he would love this system to get returns like this without even having to do anything. But his account value, what he ended with, may be much higher than that, because he probably, people put a little money in and they see how it works, and then they throw a lot more in. They say, well, I just wanted to test it with 1,000, and then they throw in 50,000 after they see how it's working. So that's what happens. That's why people start with such a small amount sometimes. But even 10,000, he still took 29,000, almost $30,000 of actual physical profits off the table. 289% return. And then you can even click on a coin. You can click on view details next to it. This is on the website. And you can see the coins he's trading. And he's allowing buying and allowing selling. He's got a 4% profit goal. He's adding on 3% drops. And his max lots is set to 40. 40 lots. That means he wants it to, it's going to divide up that money down. In this case, it says to 120% drop. Now, how can a coin drop 120%? It can't. What it was is he lowered this this adding, from another number, from a higher number to a lower number. And so he already owned a bunch of lots, and then he extended the max lots to 40. Just like I did over here, because the default setting is 25 lots. And I raised it, and I lowered my adding to another number. Or I increased the adding from 3% to 5%. Something like that. Or 2 to 3. In any case, you'll see what I mean. But you can see what his settings are, when you're looking at them. You can click on any one of these and they'll show you what coins he's trading. And in this case, this is the default settings. Profit goal is 3%, add on 3% drops, max down to a 25 lots. 3 times 25. If I'm adding on 3% drops, each time it drops 3%, I'm buying more, right? Now it's wiggling, so I'm buying and selling too as it goes up. But if it continues to decline, it's adding on 3% drops all the way down 25 times. And if you did that, 3 times 25 would be a 75% drop in the price, which is what that's telling you. Your trading window is 75%. So that's what it's doing. So it's covering you to the bottom already, so you never run out of money. So you're always going to be trading, and that's the secret to the market, really. That's one of the secrets. Most people go all in. They're buying holders. And then when it goes down, they're just praying that it's going to go back up. And that's all they got going for them. And if a coin drops 90%, you literally, if you're a buy and holder, you're literally waiting for it to go all the way up to where you first went in just to break even, as opposed to the way we do it. We're constantly buying and selling while it's going down, and then when it's going up, we're going to still be doing all this buying and selling on the way up. It's just rolling our money over constantly. And this is called commerce, by the way. I just described commerce. That's how stores work. They put product on the shelf, and they sell it at a higher price than what they paid for it. That's all commerce is. If GoBabyTrade doesn't work, then that means all those stores don't work. That's reality. I mean, that's a fact, Jack. You know, if what we're doing doesn't work, then that means all the stores are wrong. Commerce doesn't work. Because we're not tricking the market, we're not playing games, we're just taking free money on the wiggles. This one here, you can see the coins he's trading, and you notice they don't have a lot of coins. We recommend 3 to 5 coins max because you want to squeeze all your money into a small number of coins. So it's like if you were averaging this, it would be 25% of your money in each coin. Now this person played with the numbers, the percents. Um, so he didn't give, like he says, oh, I think Swift's going to do better than AST. So he allocated more of his funds to Swift. I don't do that. I just hit spread funds equally on my on a select currency screen. I just hit this button here, spread funds equally. Divide up the money with the remaining funds, because you start with this much each coin. It started like this, 200,000 each coin, right? And then it allocated funds, and one coin only used $108,000. This coin used $194,000. He used more GRT because it dropped more. So he would have had a lot less money. He only has $12,000 left of his initial money. And this one has, look at this one here, only has 97,000 left. I can borrow from these coins and divvy up the funds remaining by hitting that button there. Spread funds equally. So they each got about 50,000 bucks to trade with. Very simple. And it says add to decliners, add to advancers, allow sells. Casey, you like to Bitcoin. You like to dollar cost average into Bitcoin. So in your case, you are not selling your Bitcoin and you're allowing it to add as it goes higher. So you're dollar cost averaging. I did that to no, that one. Yeah, here. And I'm going to spread funds equally to borrow money from each of the other coins to give Bitcoin $40,000 to work with. It allows it to add as it's going down and add as it's going up because if I buy it down here, if I only say add to decliners, like that's not checked, then it can only add if it's going lower. But what happens when Bitcoin starts going higher? I want to add to advancers too. So in that case, I check that one. Add to advancers. So that's how it would look there. A lot of people are doing XRP the same way. They're dollar cost averaging in XRP because they think it's going to go to the moon. And I'm going to hit spread funds equally. So it's borrowing money from all the other coins to give both of those coins 35,000 to work with. And you got a DCA automatically. What's nice about using GoBabyTrade to dollar cost average is it won't buy at the same price it already owns it at. See, you're not doing true dollar cost averaging if you're just buying it repeatedly at the same price. And if a coin's in a small window going up and down, and you keep throwing more money into it, you're just buying at the same price you already own it at over and over and over. You're not really dollar cost averaging. Dollar cost averaging is when the price is fluctuating, going a lot higher or a lot lower. So the software handles it that way. So you can't trick the trader into using more of your money than what it's going to use at any given time. It knows how to divide up your money properly. It's called proper money management and proper
Right.
risk management. The software does that better than you can. If you're manually just buying stuff, you're doing it all wrong. You know, you're not reserving the right amount of money. You want to be able to make however much money I was making at the top, I want to make the same amount of money per trade at the bottom. I don't want to be making less money because I have less money in the account. I don't want to have as my account value goes down, I don't want to be making less profits per trade. I don't want to start making $200 a trade up here and then I'm down to 12 cents a trade down here. I want to be making, instead of starting at 200, I'll be happy to make $60 a trade and make 60 continuously forever, regardless of where the price goes. This is a brain, I know I'm flooding your brains with too much information. You won't remember all this. Just remember, sign up, get the show on the road, and let the game begin.
Amen. There you go. All
So what
right. Well,
else is there to say? I mean, we could talk for 6 hours, and anybody of you have ever talked to me, you know we will
You know
talk
that's
for
a true
6 hours.
statement. Hey, I know we have to get to the Q&A, but can I fulfill my promise that I promised at the beginning?
what's
Can I
that?
show people the how to start with $500 over 9 years that you have complete access and security to, and it spits out $11,000 a month after that?
All
Yeah,
right,
just
we'll
be
Can
talk
I?
about
just
this
be
report after you.
Yep.
We'll let you do yours first.
Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna. Yeah. There you go. Thank you. Let me.
I'm not a salesman, Natalie. You
No.
said.
Well, this is yeah. This isn't a sales pitch. This is an
I
education
know.
pitch. This is real world,
I'm
right?
just a programmer, man,
Okay.
and I love it. I've conquered the market. I've done what everybody said couldn't be done for years and years. And even if you try to go anywhere and try to explain this stuff to people, they will tell you it's a scam. There's no way he would be giving it to you. If it was real, he wouldn't be sharing it with you. They don't understand. I wouldn't even have had the auto trader if I wasn't sharing it. It was the
Yep.
sharing and then back and forth that helped. I
Yep.
didn't create this thing by myself. Thousands of us worked together to create this auto trader. And that's
Yep.
different than any other bot out there.
And what's
Yeah.
funny is that I'll just add a quick note whenever, I had just talked to Edward and Attila. I hadn't talked to Ed whenever I bought it and used it for a few months. So I was just had questions, but I was waiting just to see how it worked. And it was working without even going through all of the spiel that he goes through every Wednesday. And if you call him up and are just curious at any other point in time.
Right.
Yeah,
So
just
Ed,
turn it on. You don't even have to know anything. Just turn
you
it
don't.
on.
Yeah.
It's the
You
money
don't.
machine.
So Ed, I'm going to start with a question to you.
Sure.
What is over the 4 year period? You started your first account in I think it was December 19th of 2021.
Yes.
You started with 200,000. That's an irrelevant number to everybody, but that's what he started with. $200,000, and in a little bit over a 4 year period to December 19th of 2025. So 4 years in that window. How much profit did that trader make?
It went to a million.
Okay.
To
So
973, just to almost a million.
Okay, so listen, I went to public school, but that math tells me that that over that period of time, it made 125% return. It didn't do it all at once, but it did it over that period of time. So
No,
I'm
no,
laying
it
the
made no,
levels.
it made more than 125%.
I know it did, but I'm trying to make it semi-realistic. I'm giving
Oh,
people the facts the facts
I
so
mean,
that
it
they
went
can
up like 400%.
right,
Yeah.
but they can understand. No, 125% per year over that period of
Oh,
time.
all
So
right,
so
right, right.
five extra money. You started with 200, you made another 400, right? So I'm sorry, another 800. Sorry. Yes. Okay. So but that was a level set. You threw me off. So that when I show this and explain this explanation, people aren't going, well, that's impossible. How can he make 50%? Because over that period of time, oh, by the way, what's the market done in that same period of time?
Going straight down.
90% plus, 94% to use your numbers. So if, and I'll say this and I'll explain I'll explain how you can get to the third scenario in your sleep. So I had a discussion. Maybe we talked about it in, last week. Remember, I said you took that same to take your comparison of the 200,000 you started with. It turned into a million versus a buy and holder in that same scenario with the same 200,000. Their account would be worth 12,000, not a million, 12,000. That illustrates alone the power of what you have created, Mr. Barsano. So let me walk through the numbers because I don't know math front and back, but I know math works. I told you could start with $500 over, excuse me, a 9 year period. By the way, 9 years is gonna pass by whether you do anything or not. But here's what happens: if you only made 50%, only, I say that, I don't say it tongue in cheek. I say it real because we just
That's
showed you.
profits off the table,
Right.
physical money.
Right. Physical money, no matter where you start. We started with $500 over a 9 year period. Granted, you're going to reinvest into the trader 3 times, 1 out of the gate and 2 renewals over that period of time. But if I ask you the question, give me $1 and 3 years later, I'll give you 5. How many dollars would you give me? Now, think about that and think about your
Many you'll
answer.
take.
Think about your answer, because if the answer is not every dollar I can give you, then you probably do need a little bit of therapy, right? Because it just works. Where are you going to get that in the market? We talked about the scam system and how it's programmed to keep you poor. And why? Why? Because if you're poor, you're controlled. I don't
And
say
if Wall Street was selling this, they would just take all of that percentage as their fee, and you'd still just be making like
you're
5-7%.
You're right. You're right. And rarely do I mention, but I have mentioned it before. I spent 32 years as a federal agent inside the matrix. I know what the programming is, and it's to keep you poor forever. Do you think I'm no longer in that position? So I can freely say I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing to you, keeping you in that first scenario box that I showed you. And if you're lucky enough, to get to the second scenario, you want to get to the third scenario? Listen, because I'm going to finish this explanation. So you started with, yes, you invested $3,400 at a $1,000 discount into the trader, right? You start your investment in Coinbase. I'm just using it as an example. You do Coinbase or Kraken for 9 years at a 50% return annually. And you've committed to if you're adding X number of dollars out of your paycheck to your 401k, stop doing that. Put it in the trader. $500 a month in 9 years turns into an account balance of $563,000. Okay. So now I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you $13,000 to go do whatever you want. Go take a cruise because you deserve it. But then, can you see this screen?
Yes.
Okay. What I did was I gave you the 13,000. I put over here 550,000, which is part of your account balance that I just showed you. But now you're in the I want to enjoy life forever mode. We drop it to 1 year. We say, okay, let's even get less aggressive. It only is going to make 24% a year, not the 50%. And I'll change it to that so you can see.
That's
right?
2% a month. By the way, let me just, Edward, I'm sorry to interrupt, but everybody needs to understand that that's 24% a year is 2% a month in the trader. And that's like
I've never made under 2% a month.
That's like the worst scenario of your lifetime, is getting 2% a month in this trader, averaging 2% a month. That's like a disaster.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm giving the absolute worst case scenario based on what's happened in 4 years in a 90% down market. Oh, by the way, all the other cool things that we told you, this has never seen a bull market. Ever.
Never.
Ever.
It's
never.
seen a little glimpse. It's seen a little glimpse, but that's about it.
But 125% a year. Okay, we're giving you the scenario. Now you're in the I want to live life forever, happy, and not have to worry about anything. Okay. 550,000 at 24% for a year, adding no more, right? Gives you, oh, by the way, you still get to keep you got $550,000 in the bank, not in the bank. Take that word out of my mouth. Not in the bank. It's in the trader, because it's continuing to make money. But it now takes $132,000 passively in your sleep, standing on your head, living your life. Divide that by 12. That's $11,000 in free money cash flow in your pocket every month. Jeff, I think it was. You can leave your slave chains behind.
Well, only if you can live on 11,000 a month.
Okay, put in the chat. Who can live on $11,000 a month? Say yes or no. Because you can. So now, lastly, what I'll do, let me just change one thing here. So live it only operated at 50%, 50%, which is 30% of what it's been operating at. It sounds outlandish, but I'm only going to change one number. Watch this. 825,000. So you now have 275,000. By the way, you still have this operating for you every single day, of which most of that is free money. So now I'm going to give you 25,000 to blow. I'm going to take 800,000, and then I'm going to turn it back over for Q&A. Whoops, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to take 800,000, 800. Lower this back down to 24. Okay. 192,000. I can't do math, so I'm going to do the math on the calculator. 192 divided by 12 is $16,000 a month. Is that better than 11?
That's more like it. Thank you.
Right, that's more like okay. Now you can pay the bills, right? But what if it did 50%? Now this gets scary, but I'm getting you to dream for a reason. 400,000. And this is, by the way, this ain't a dream. This is real. If you think your job making you work, taking all the time away from your family and living life, by the way, if you take 2 weeks vacation a year, that's ridiculous. But again, that's part of the trap. So 400,000, and we'll end with this. $33,333 per month passively, and you still have a nest egg working for you every day of 800,000. Now, think all the way back. This was starting with $500. Did I lie? Or did I show you a way to get to the path that you want to, which is
retirement. Early retirement.
No, it's not even retirement. It's just living. It's just living.
That's true.
So
yeah.
So X this out, and here you are. $500 a month. And by the way, we didn't mention that Crypto Casey's discount not only includes that, but now Ed and his team implemented you can pay with credit card, debit card, crypto, or guess what? Other people's money. Now you can purchase it over time using a firm. So if we haven't given you the keys to scenario number 3, you haven't been listening, and look out for the replay because you can watch it backwards and forwards and it does not change.
Okay, Amen. Can I throw something out here about since you said you worked in the Matrix with Keanu Reeves?
Yes.
I like to throw out common sense things that people never think about. When you save your money, you could save it in a drawer or under your pillow or under your mattress, or you could put it in a bank. Putting your money in a bank is not saving your money. That's not saving your money. What you're doing is you're loaning your money to the bank, the same as a credit card would loan money to you. Okay? But if they loan you money, you pay 30% interest on that. But you are loaning your money to the bank for nothing. Tell me that's not making a fool of you. They should be put in jail. You want to have congressional hearings? How about we have a congressional hearing about that? The fact that they're taking advantage of the public because the public doesn't seem to realize that they're loaning their money to the bank and the bank is making a whole bunch of money with your money and they're not giving you anything. That's thievery. That's taking advantage of a 5-year-old, you know. I can show a 5-year-old 50 pennies and a couple nickels and say, I'll give you all that or this $1. Which one would you like? And shake that, rattle that change. And the little 5-year-old will take the change. Not my 5-year-old granddaughter. She says she doesn't even want, you know what she says? If you try to hand her $1, she says, I want the one with 2 zeros after that $1. I'm not lying. My 5-year-old said that to me. My granddaughter.
But yet we're programmed.
Yet, she knows a $100 bill because she sees me give $100 bills to the older kids. She doesn't want no dollar. I want the one with the 2 zeros after it.
But yet 92% of us are programmed to believe
that you're
otherwise.
saving your money and you're using a bank. I don't need a bank to save my money. They sell safes at Walmart, man. Buy a safe.
Mr. Heveshy.
Let me tell you this, in $100 bills, a little bitty safe will hold $200,000. I know, because I got a lot of them.
Yes, Edward.
Please do take us kicking and screaming into Q&A. So
All right, now I don't
my
want to look
trans
like an investment advisor, so I'm going to take off my coat so I don't, I
my
don't like to be likened to them, because I
my
like to tell you
transition
real stuff, not fake stuff.
my transition words are thank you for listening to the pictures and the words and the numbers, because if you paid attention, it really does make sense. There's no way it doesn't make sense. Um, uh, I, I came up with some other visuals, as you saw, that give you a concrete example of where you may be now, and I know, if you're like me, where I want to be, which is scenario number 3. And I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. So, um, Mr. Hevesy, actually, I'll take the first one because it's not a question. Kathy said, "Yep, the bus is on the way." Um, so thank you, Kathy. That was from earlier on. Um, Mr. Hevesy, would you take Sean's questions?
Yeah, sure. First of all, Sean asked, what's a lot? Well, Sean, a lot is when you buy a position. In other words, if the trader buys for you 500 Ondo, okay, that's a lot. That's a
One
position.
lot. One purchase, one lot.
Right, per coin. Right. So when you first fire up and you're connected live to your Coinbase account, and let's say you funded it with USDC, and you hit the default button, and it gave you the 3 coins that are in there on the default, it will fill one lot for each of those 3 coins to get you started. Okay, so it's that simple. The
You
other
need lots.
question,
One lot, two lots, three lots.
yep,
And it can
yep,
goes on and on and on and on and on.
yep.
It depends how many lots you have that are underwater. Only if they're underwater, you're accumulating them. So this one has 26 lots. This one has 25 lots.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, by the way. That's inventory, what Ed Barsano spoke of before. So,
Just like a
what's in?
7-Eleven, you got to have inventory
Yeah,
on the shelf. Otherwise, you're not selling anything.
yep.
And you wouldn't
So
fill the shelves with inventory and then lock the doors. You want to
that's
leave the
right.
doors open and sell. You want to turn inventory. It's called commerce. That's how
Right.
commerce works.
So Ed, Sean's got like 5 other questions. So the first one is, what is the recommended low risk profit margin setting for GoBabyTrade? And where is the start of the high risk, do at your own risk profit margin setting? I'm not
You're
sure I
asking me?
even,
Well,
Yes.
low risk, I'll show you what low risk is. Low risk is like adding on 3% drops. See this here? It says all funds except the profit saved will be used within those 60 lots, right? So I'm covering it down to 100%. When you get your trader, you're going to get it like this. It's going to have 25 lots. Okay? That's saying that's going to give me a 75% trading window. That means as long as the coin stays, it doesn't drop more than 75%. Now, to me, that's low risk. All right? Unusual low risk would be saying take it all the way down to 100%. Starting on the first day, saying if it already went down 75%, then I can see extending it 25% more to 100. But why should I spread my money that thin if I can take a little bit 25%, a little bit of risk there, saying I don't, not from the beginning, I don't think it's going to go down 75%. Really, it's unrealistic. So so that to me is low risk right there. Now, risk would be this, and I see people do it. They'll say, "Well, I only want to let it add 10 lots." Now you're squeezed all your money into a 30% trading window. See that? So that means you've got to you put all your money squeezed into that 30% window. If the coin drops below that, you're going to be out of money. And you got a long way to go for the coin could drop a lot more. And these coins did drop 94%. And what's so wonderful is all of us Go Baby traders, we're all still in the game. Whereas
Yeah.
all the buy and holders are out of the game. They all got wiped out. Everybody that's a buy and holder got wiped out already a long time ago because the coins dropped 94%. We are still in the game trading. So
So here's
this
the,
is high risk. So personally, I would not go below 30. I personally would not go below the I think it's 20, 3 times 20, or yeah, a 60% trading window.
yeah.
Absolutely don't go below, 50%, like this would be as high a risk as I'd be willing to take. 3 times 17. A
And I think,
51% from right
yeah.
now, because we're already at the bottom. I would have
And
considered that high risk earlier on when the prices were much higher. That would have been high risk because the coins, I expected them to drop 50% or more.
I think it's important for everybody, including Sean, who asked the question, to clearly understand that based on 25, 26 years of data and intel that Ed Barsano has accumulated, he used to have 10 screens of these settings and people were blowing themselves up. So he minimized it down to one page, and everybody needs to know that the default settings here are perfect. Yeah, they don't need to be adjusted for any kind of
At
risk
all.
category. No. So
Most
that's the
people
thing
don't
about this.
touch any of these settings at all.
Remember I said set it and forget it? We're going to say set it and forget it. That especially applies to the settings page. That's set and just you forget about it. All right. So Sean's got another question that I could answer, and then I'll read another one of his questions that's to you, Ed. So his question that I'm going to answer is when GoBabyTrade is actively trading, do we need to have our computers on at all times and sleep mode turned off? Absolutely not. Sean, you could go to Australia on a vacation, lose your laptop or forget it, not have internet coverage, and this GoBabyTrade is still trading, making money for you on Ed Barsano servers. So no is the
I
answer.
could take one even more, I could even say something even more drastic.
Go
You
ahead.
could die,
Oh,
and these auto traders
oh,
will keep trading. They'll keep trading
not
forever.
wishing that on anybody,
I
but
know,
it
I'm just
operates.
saying. I'm just
It
saying.
operates
They're
even
running
when
on the
you're gone.
servers.
Here's one for you, Ed. This is from Sean T also. Is the AI integrated into GoBaby's is the AI integrated into GoBabyTrade's technically an AI agent? And if so, is this agent Ed Barsano's creation or is it a mainstream agent
Oh,
integration
very
like
good. Nice
OpenClaw?
question. It's all
Yeah.
me, baby. All me.
Yep.
Um, I started developing AI in '89 at Microsoft to deal with the millions of phone calls that we were getting, and I added them into my auto trader, and it's all my code. My AI is like nothing else out there. I mean, I learned how to develop code AI myself. I don't use anybody else's stuff. People ask me through the years, "Will you create an AI for me?" And I tell them, "Go to school. You need to go to school. Otherwise, you'll be dependent on me forever." Because I don't know what your special AI that you want it to do. AI is like for eye scans, right? It can, and fingerprints and pattern recognition. I like to say it could see a zebra through a picket fence. There's the zebra behind the picket fence, but it could spot that zebra. But it can't tell you where that zebra is going to be tomorrow. AI can't do that. So AI really isn't designed for forecasting. However, the patterns that the 27 indicators are throwing are nice, beautiful patterns for right now, a snapshot in time. And within a half hour, those patterns will break down because the indicators are changing. The technical indicators are all changing. And so it's only good for about a half hour for forecasting. That's why I show over here when you see the AI, like any of these that have an AI, it's saying, do you think the price is going to go lower? Because the software's saying added to declining position, and it's saying AI is holding that trade. It's not letting it go until the order gets filled. Until the AI will give me a reasonable, like 95% confidence that it's going to go higher. So if it can't predict 95% confidence, we don't want it. Now the AI, when I first turned it on back in 2001, it was probably about 30% accurate. It really could only say, well, I'm 36% sure that a coin is going to go higher, but then it would be wrong, 65% of the time, right? So, but it got smarter over the years because it's a learning system. And what I did all the way back then is I said, all right, every auto trader, every minute, I want you to write your results to a file. I want you to write all the technical indicator settings that you're seeing at this instant in time. I want to write it to a file, to different files, one file per symbol. And then the AI trains on that. I've got terabits of data that the AI is learning on over the years and getting now it can predict over 95% accuracy. It can give me a 98%. I was looking through the data just about a week ago and I was just looking at the accuracy and I could see a bunch of 100% accurates that it called. And I'm like, I love that, man. Talk about free money. I mean, even the AI is saying this coin's going higher. Do not you dare sell that coin right now. Wait, because it's going higher. So it's so anyways, I wrote all the code from the ground up. I didn't use any AI agent that you're talking about. I know everybody out there using AI now is using data. They're AI agents that are doing all the numbers. They don't even know what they're doing. And not only that, they're it's like a 25-year-old competing with a 2-year-old because AI, like I said, in the beginning, it couldn't tell you 1 plus 1 is 2, but so if they just created an AI in the last few years, I'm like, where are you getting your data? Because it's like a 25-year-old competing with a 2-year-old. You don't have a prayer if you're competing with me because your
Yeah.
accuracy cannot be, what my accuracy is. And
Yeah.
so,
Ed,
but I'm not using somebody else's. The AI is a separate system from the
yep,
trader. It's like two-factor
you
authentication.
got it.
When the software is ready to make a trade, then it calls the AI. It doesn't like the AI doesn't rule the show. The AI is not the star of the dish. The trader is the star of the dish.
Perfect.
When the trader says I'm ready to buy or sell, it'll call the AI and say, "What do you think? Do you think it's going to go higher or do you think it's going to go lower?" And that's it. And if AI doesn't step in and say that it's going to go higher or lower based on what I'm looking for, then the software will go through with the trade.
Yep. Thanks, Ed.
You're welcome.
Edward, do you want to get Brian's question or you want me to get Brian's and you get Scott's?
I can get Brian's and Scott's. I'm going to start with Scott's. Scott,
All right.
we talked about, he's got a question about the security features on Kraken, and I looked it up while you were answering the previous questions. So I'm going to put it in the chat. I just went to YouTube and pulled it, and that gives you the what do they call it? The security lock protocol or something that is. I'll get it right here in a second. It's called the Global Settings Lock.
Oh,
Is the
GSL.
right, right, or GSL is the equivalent to what we shared in the allow list for GoBabyTrade. Not sorry
I can
for
tell you in a nutshell what that is. How to do it. You create a master password first before you turn that on. Remember that. Create your master password. You're talking about in Kraken. You
that's
create a
correct.
master password for your GSL so you can turn it off and on at will. That's a different password than your your coin your Kraken login. That's a separate so that nobody ever gets that. And the only time so you keep GSL turned on to stop transfers out. So nobody can transfer your money, they can't transfer your coins, and so you're 100% safe there as far as I could
Yep.
tell. And
It,
and then only if you're gonna actually do one of those things personally, transfer a coin out or withdraw money or put money in or take money out, then you go in with your master password, you turn the GSL off for a minute, do your transaction, then turn it back on.
and if
Super.
you want to know more, subscribe to Crypto Casey.
That's right. Let's go.
Oh, Casey, I didn't let you answer that. You probably had a better answer. But
No,
your
yours is fine.
answers are too sophisticated, They want to talk to somebody they want to talk to somebody that could speak at their language. And I'm kidding. I'm an idiot. You're too smart, Casey.
Oh, you're too smart. You're the programmer.
No.
I'm just here to translate.
All right. Brian, yeah, Attila, do you want to take Brian or you want me to take him?
You take it.
All right. If bots and AI are doing most of the crypto trading nowadays, is there going to be enough movement of they to operate in a similar fashion in the future?
No, we're
I'm
not
gonna
talking about bots and AI. We're not
yeah
talking about the bots that everyday people are using. All the trading, most of the trading out there is coming from the large institutions.
yeah. So Brian, my you know, it, if we were look at a timeline of where we are in this space, we're in the dinosaur ages, or as Attila says, we're in the dial-up phase of the internet. There's going to be more volatility, more movement, more clarity. These prices, particularly when you're talking about look at the prices across the board, because you're looking at stuff that's fractions of a cent, all the way up to the bitcoins of the world. There's always going to be volatility, particularly when there is so much more volume. And I want to ask Casey's opinion about this. When the Clarity Act went, by the way, you're considered a retail investor. The retail investor, for the large part, is not even in this space. We talked earlier. People don't even, most people, 92%. We wrote a white paper. If you want it, ask for it, we'll give it to you. 92% of the people walking the planet, even just in the US, have no idea what this space is about or involved in it. And if you were to ask how many people are sophisticated enough to be in your shoes, which is actually considering or already in the market, it's fractions of a percent. So when the retail market, when all the manipulation, all the major manipulation is over, the Clarity Act's going to be released. Banks are going to be squawking to you about give all your money to me, just like they do now, but in the digital world. And by the way, you're going to jump out of the pot, out of the frying pan into the fire unless you listen to Crypto Casey, listen to this stuff, or learn that you have complete and utter 100% control. Don't be trapped again, but you're going to be in a situation where you are not going to
Be
benefit
in control of your own
from
money. Yeah.
from any of this, right?
They're going to
So,
tie up your money and it's going to be nasty what they're going to do.
but you're going to get into the crypto market. You're going to get into the wrong crypto market. You're just going to be more controlled because then they know all dollars in, all dollars out, unless you understand decentralized finance. Shameless plug. Get the book that we're releasing because it shows you step by step by step by step all the scam, all the fraud, all the stuff that you didn't learn, all the stuff that you don't know, and it's going to give you a path again with Casey's knowledge and imparted in that path to success that gives you at least an opportunity. I mean, outside of that, if you do nothing, stay in scenario one or two.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Can I quickly say two things? Number
No,
one, you see
well, you can
this.
say one. We got
All
time
right,
for
but I got two.
go ahead.
Today at 3 a.m., my auto trader bought Shiba Inu at 583. See that? Automatically at 3 in the morning.
Yep.
And Shiba Inu now is at 597. See how it jumped? So
Mhm.
we got them trapped because they started out negative at 3 in the morning and then they went positive. But they still haven't, if I look at that one order, I'm up $60 right now. I could literally take that right now. One click of that button, man, and I will take that $60. But I'm too greedy. I'm gonna let the auto trader.
So,
I'm up 2%, but it's like I don't want 2%. I want 5%. And
yep,
that's my punishment to the market. You want to go down there? Pay me. Because now
yep.
I'm not giving away my shares at 2%. I want 5% now. And that's one point I wanted to make. And what was the other point? The other point I wanted to make.
Think for a second. Let me put a pin in Brian's question. Brian,
Oh, that was it.
Brian, you're entering into a space with access to a tool that scrapes money off the table, right? It just takes if it takes $1, if you walked out the door every day and you turned around to lock it and somebody had taped a $5 bill to your door, how many times would you put that $5 bill in your pocket? Because that is all this is doing is simply making
It's
money over
prepping
time,
you.
right?
It's
And
prepping you for the kill. The auto trader is prepping you for the kill, and the kill will happen. It's just sit back and relax, and just watch it throw money at you, and it just takes it. The other thing is was it Jeff that asked that AI question? Um, you may already know this stuff, but get the technical analysis from A to Z book. You can get it off eBay, for a few bucks. Technical analysis from A to Z tells you whatever setting every indicator is at, whether that's bullish or bearish. All right. And that's what gets fed into your AI software. That's what
Cool.
it reads,
until
and it knows if it's bullish or bearish.
Attila,
I got
run with the last question. John's got a question.
okay. Okay, so John writes, I know you advise not to change coins very often, if at all. Yes, we do advise that every week.
I never change them.
But
I'm still trading the
but
same
there's a
coins for five
I had a
years.
feeling there was a but coming. So, but is it a possible issue that SUI, for instance, has many fewer closed trades than other coins? Is it still is a very popular choice?
I can
Is
answer
that
that.
partly because even though the closed trade count is lower, but the profit per trade is higher?
No, well, whether it's slowed down or not, when you first get your trader, you care about the what we were saying, what we said below. Let me hide this. What we said on the highest counts report. We want coins that trade the most. We want big numbers like 1626. Just like if you're running a 7-Eleven, and you've all heard me say this before. I want product on my shelves that moves a lot. Potato chips, vapes, hot dogs, monster
John's
drinks. I
Right.
don't want iodine. Nobody's going to
Blackbird.
buy iodine. I'm not putting that on my shelf in my 7-Eleven. I happen to have that bottle there. That's funny.
well, you still might need the iodine if you're trying to manually trade.
Yeah, you may need Valium. But if you see 1626 in the last year, this coin, and it's only available at Kraken, and it's a meme coin, so I don't like that. I go down to the utility coins. Um, wow, utility. Swift is number 2. And it's only available at Coinbase. So if you have a Coinbase account, there's a beautiful coin to trade. I trade it. PRCL is available at Coinbase and Kraken. It's way up at the top. It's number 3 on the list. It's a utility. Utility means they're actually in business and they make money, as opposed to memes, which started out as joke coins.
Go to SUI. He was asking specifically about SUI.
Okay, it's on line 111. It did 937 trades last year, in the
I
last
own it.
12 months.
I've got it in my trader and I own it separately. That is a tremendous layer one project.
And
It's got
go ahead.
no. You go ahead. Y'all never stop talking.
I remember last week we looked at this. If you scroll up to the top and then the percent of traders, that one was good because there was like 5 of them that have most of the people that have the product are trading. Yeah, percent of traders. Hit
Yeah,
that.
SUI. I just saw SUI
I think
was
it's the top one.
38%.
Yeah, Sui's the top one. So look, there's
SUI's
Oh,
only
the
like
look at
top
6
that!
coins
I
that
didn't even
everybody's
notice
trading and
that.
it's making money. Yeah, that's a
right.
good one.
And
That's a good metric.
you can see. Oh, here I clicked on the wrong lowest percent.
Well, no, go to percent of traders.
Oh, I keep forgetting. All right, there it
Yeah,
is.
that one.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
where. So 38% of the GoBabyTrade clients own
that's the
SUI.
most. Almost
ACH
40%.
34%. I love the idea that I'm trading what most people are trading. Why are most people trading this? Well, go to a
It's making
7-Eleven and
money.
then go to another convenience store and go to another convenience store, even though they're all different franchises, right? Look at what they're selling. Monster drinks, Cokes, sodas, bottles of water, coffee, candy bars, potato chips. They're all selling the stuff that turns inventory. I don't want to trade the garbage. I shouldn't call it garbage because Bitcoin's down there. Um, I mean, I don't, not in my 7-Eleven. Bitcoin's a good buy and holder kind of coin and DCA into it, because we all know Bitcoin's going to go to 1 million. We already know that. But how long? In the meantime, I want to turn inventory. I don't want stuff down here that does 158 trades in a year. I don't want to trade stuff that does five trades, two trades, three trades per month. These are monthly counts. I want to trade stuff that has big numbers every month. Look at this. Look at that. How beautiful can you get? I mean, this is gold. I mean, is it going to do that next month? I don't know. But I have a feeling that it's probably going to be between 57 and 118. If I take its lowest month of the year and its highest month of the year, I can say it's probably going to be somewhere in there next month. I feel like I'm going to turn some inventory if I'm
Yeah.
trading, what is that? PRCL. It's too easy. This stuff is so insultingly simple. It's blowing my mind. You know why I even come to these shows every week? It's therapy for me. I got to get it off my chest because I don't see how everybody doesn't see this.
Okay, Sean is asking one last question. Is Coinbase still Casey's recommendation over Kraken? I saw a video of hers published a year ago, I believe, recommending Coinbase over Kraken for many good reasons. Curious if that's still your verdict, Casey, and if not, what changed?
Still my verdict for my personal situation. I like Coinbase One. It the amount of trading that the trader does. I don't really actively or manually trade, but for what I do, Coinbase is good for me. I also have a Kraken account, so it's not like one is better overall. But for me, Coinbase is my go-to. It's
I
already a
like the
publicly
flex.
traded company. Kraken's trying to get there. What's interesting about Kraken, they're trying to become a bank, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to make it a better exchange per se. But
Right.
that's my experience.
Yeah, I like the
I agree.
flexibility in that when you have Kraken and you want to trade with GoBabyTrade, you could only use USD, US dollars. With Coinbase, it could be US dollars or USDC. And I have a motto, once in crypto, stay in crypto. So, if you're in USDC, you have a lot of options on the way out when you're coming out with your profits.
I like Coinbase too because I use the Coinbase Visa card everywhere I go. I call it
And we're
free
not
money, the
making
card
recommend
that keeps on giving. Every
we're
time I
not
use
making
it, it doesn't matter. The auto trader just puts more money in it.
we're not making recommendations. We're just
Oh
explaining
yeah,
the
I mean we're
difference
just talking
between
about
the
what we
two.
like. I like Coinbase better because it also has Coinbase One, and I get a
Right,
quarter of the fees back that they charged in trading fees
right.
every
Exactly.
week. They keep sending me these crazy checks like 400. They say, "All right, here's another $441 a week."
Right.
Free money. Again, free money. I keep using that phrase because they're just throwing money at you all different ways.
So, folks, we do this like I started with when Edward turned it over to me. We do this every single week on behalf of Casey's audience. This week, we happen to be doing it twice. We'll be back here this Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So please join us. Tell your friends, bring your friends, and let them find out about a way to make money in your sleep as well. And we appreciate everybody being here. I always use the analogy. Um, John is saying, okay, so SUI does still have much fewer trades closed in the past year, and
Oh,
GRT is even lower. Ed is saying this should be considered, correct?
here's the reason. Here's the reason. When you first start, I didn't finish what I was going to say because I always sidetrack myself. But,
Go ahead.
but when you first start, you want coins that move a lot. But then after that, once you start accumulating inventory, then having a well-seasoned auto trader takes over. Because then now I've already got all that inventory I've accumulated. I got them trapped from the top to the bottom. Now
Right,
that's more important than how fast things are moving. Because now I know I've got them trapped. They can never, ever recover without paying me.
right.
and without paying me. They can't even wiggle without paying me now, because if they go up a little bit and I sell that bottom one, they can't go up again a little more without me selling that one. So I've got them now. I've got them just trapped for the rest of my life. I mean, so a well-seasoned auto trader takes precedent, in my opinion, over the the fact that it might have slowed down. The coin might have slowed down in its
And
movement.
also, I'll say this. So we've been in a bear market. This thing hasn't seen a bull market. All of the coins start moving when Bitcoin starts moving. In the interim, there'll be random pops of activity depending on, maybe a tweet or some news article or some random kind of manipulation. But at the end of the day, it's better to just stay longer term in one than try to bounce around, because they're all going to move at the same time. Don't bounce around. Because I
Yep,
tried, whenever
good,
I
good.
first started, I did everything in the trader, changed the settings, changed coins. I can tell you that don't mess with it. Don't try to switch around based on the highest trades every couple months.
Yep,
Like
Yep.
for the reasons that we've all went over.
yes. All
Some
right,
people
so
do this. Some people uncheck some of their coins. They say, I don't want to trade that coin anymore. And then they start throwing in other coins. And I'm like, now you're just a buy and holder on that coin.
yeah,
I literally, if you're asking for my opinion, I say turn that back on. Like I said, you wouldn't own a 7-Eleven and then just fill up the shelves and then lock the doors. It's the profits are made in turning inventory, not waiting for things to go to a new high. So I
correct.
always want to be trading. I don't have any inventory that I'm not trading.
So, Casey, any word to the wise as far as signing off with everybody now? What's your final comments to the group or thoughts?
I think if you're still undecided and want some more information, join us on Saturday this weekend, or next Wednesday, or the following Saturday. Sometimes the more information, the better. Uh, at the end of the day, I've been using it for almost 3 years now. Everybody, what is it, like 99.9% of all the people that have bought it are happy, like no chargebacks, nothing.
Yeah,
Which I didn't even
Yeah.
know that statistic until a few months ago. I've never really asked, so I'm super happy to hear that.
I mean, we're all, people are discouraged because the market's going lower and lower and lower, but they don't realize the value of that. The people who get rich in these crashes, like in 2000, who got rich in that? I got hammered. The people buying at the bottom got rich. That's who. Who got rich when the bank stocks went down to $1? Not the people that were dumping their bank stocks on the way down, the people that loaded up at the bottom, and then they rocketed those prices to $50. And look where the stock market is today compared to when we had that crash in 2000 and in 2008. They keep doing that. They drive everything down, scare everybody's stop losses all kick in. Millions of shares are dumped by everybody automatically, and the whales are just loading up on all that. People who are buying at the bottom are the ones that get rich.
yep,
So we are in a
yep.
beautiful position here. We literally have the entire crypto market trapped at the bottom.
Ed,
Me and BlackRock, my brothers.
Ed
So,
Barsano, final comments.
all right, I got a couple. Number one, is Ann going to be here next Saturday? I
It's
mean,
funny you should ask.
she pops in, wets our whistle, and then disappears forever. It's like, what happened to that girl?
well,
Poor
she,
Crypto Casey's getting beat up here all by herself.
that's funny. So I will ask, and actually, she's going to be leaving the country for a couple of
Oh,
weeks. In case you don't know, and Ann's my wife that helped out while we were doing the Crypto Casey Bash, because we were talking a lot, lots of comments, and we wanted to make sure, and we were giving away a bunch of Bitcoin and all the generosity that the Crypto Casey shared. So I'll ask her. You're not the first one to ask if she would return. So I,
Cool.
I
Hopefully
will
she
ask her.
will. The other
I will
thing I
ask her.
wanted to say is 8 a.m. on Saturday. That's in my time. It is a little early. I might show up in my underwear.
Yep,
Just stay seated.
yeah,
But I will promise to wear a shirt.
cool. Edward, last words.
Yep. While we're signing off, I put a bunch of stuff in the chat. Don't miss it. I put the registration link because it is a different link for our special Saturday sessions on the 18th and the 25th. The next thing I posted was the to support emails, support at GoBabyTrade.com and support at RCT Marketing Systems, which is also a marketing company that we own that handles that traffic. The next thing I put in there was I did not mention yet today. We have a private community of which Crypto Casey and Ed Barsano and Attilla and I participate in. So you're welcome to join that for free. We do all kinds of stuff. We do a weekly newsletter that gives you lots of information in the market at large. Next is look for within the next 48 hours the recording. This replay will be on our channel. We'll make sure that we get it to Crypto Casey as well. I posted her YouTube channel. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200,000 until you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channels because we'll continue to spread good news and information to you for free. So with that,
Casey, did you
blessing.
paint your wall since last week?
Did I
No,
what?
she just changed the colors.
Did you
Yeah, I
paint
have
your wall?
light. I can change the colors.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Watch. I think you can do it from here.
So my final words. I'm going to end as I
Casey disappeared.
Yeah, I changed the color.
yeah.
Oh, are you back?
There you go, Brett. Yeah,
Now it's blue.
ocean blue. So I'll end as I started.
Oh, cool. I thought you painted your walls.
If you're in scenario 1 or 2, which has really been your only choice to date in the current system that you have been programmed into, and you don't want to stay there, we've given you a path to get there, and you don't have to be a billionaire yet. If you want to be, take scenario 3. Use this as a life lesson. This is an income producing asset that simply will work for your life and everybody else's life. I have 3 kids. They're all going to have fully funded traders because by the time that they're 15, 20 years from now, they will be financially set. And it is my duty biblically to create a legacy for my children's children. If you want to stop grinding until you die, then use this information to your benefit and look for other income producing assets. This is the least expensive path that I've ever found. You can own hundreds of thousands of dollars in stock and get dividends. I'm not sure how long that'll last. You can own a whole bunch of real estate and have hundreds of thousands of dollars tied up in the 3 T's, toilets, trash, and tenants. Or you can do something that allows you to consistently make money over time. So,
well, an auto trader is just a side thing. You can still live your life and do other investments if you want. To me, it's just the ultimate savings account. You plow your money in there and you watch it make profits by itself instead of sitting in a bank doing nothing.
Indeed.
Exactly. Also, just a quick note. I saw yesterday, I don't know, this guy's popular, Graham Stefan, YouTuber.
Yep.
Just yesterday, he said he posted, somebody go check it out. I've spent a decade telling people to do what I do, buy and hold real estate. And now he's decided to list his entire real estate portfolio for sale and walk away because of all of the tax increases, maintenance, headache.
Toilets,
this is what he's
trash.
going to do that, but it's funny that this guy, he was a big real estate guy. I've watched him probably since he started his channel, and just yesterday, everybody's talking about it. So just to parlay off of that.
Real estate, after a few years, real estate can be lucrative, but it's very cumbersome. This is easy. You pay the license and you set it and forget it. That's a major distinction. I mean,
the 7-Eleven without the bricks and mortar.
Yep.
You don't have
Indeed.
to stock the shelves.
So-
you don't have to sell the stuff.
Yep.
So my final words are the same every week, and that is that you work hard at your job or in your business, you make money, and then your money's unemployed. There's no better way, in my estimation, after knowing Ed Barsano 14 years now, to give your money a job and multiply itself than with this trader. I mean, it just plain out works. It's been working 25 years. It's not, does it work? Can it work? Will it work? It's been working 25, 26 years. It's proven itself. So all you need to do is pull the trigger and put your money to work, automate a portion of your financial life. Buy the trader. I'm asking you, I'm telling you. Actually, we've had quite a few people that own the trader in the comments today also said, just buy the darn thing. One person, I think, said, just shut up and buy.
Really?
So anyway, We'll see you Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. And until then, be safe, everybody.
Be safe out
Go
there.
Navy.
Yep.
Go Navy.
Ed,
Now wait, how does this?
You just
Ed,
said it.
Crypto Casey, it's always a pleasure. It is our
Yep.
distinct pleasure to share this information to make lives better. That's why we're here. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your talents. Go forth, as Attilla says, go forth, multiply your apply your money. As Ed said, you buy it now, you buy it later, and if you buy it 6 months from now, you go, geez, I wish I bought it 6 months ago. So with that, see you
Thanks,
Saturday.
Ed. Thanks, Casey.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
Ed.
Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Take it
you.
easy.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.